All right, let's get into it.
All right, Warfighter Tobacco Podcast. I don't know what day Justin's going to put this out, so I don't know what day it is. It's the same day as when we left off last week, because this is part 2.
It's the same day.
Same day.
Same day, different.
Still with me, Carl Dykes, my old first sergeant. We talked about a lot.
Yeah, we rabbit tracked a lot.
We did.
Yeah.
For this one, though, I kind of want to keep us on when we were in the same unit at the same time.
Okay.
So we went to West Point. I think you got there like right before we went to West Point, right?
April, and we went to West Point in June, I think.
Okay.
Something like that.
So we went to West Point, and that was what, 2001, I believe?
It would have been 2002 because I was in Hawaii for September 11th, 2001. Okay. So it would have been
2002. We went to West Point to train cadets for a summer. And at that time, I had he earned it on the West Point deployment, but I had one of my favorite sergeant majors ever because he put up that fucking beer tent.
Yeah, I remember.
Right? That's fucking hero level.
That's great.
That's hero level.
I mean, because it was like there was no place. Well, there was one place to go, but you had to have a vehicle, and none of us had vehicles.
Yeah. And so we were at, what was the little camp we were at?
Probably Camp
Victory.
Mini Ha Ha.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Something on West Point, but we were,
but it was far enough away that.
Yeah. It was out in the middle of kind of nowhere.
Those real people didn't have to deal with us locally.
Yeah. Yeah. We were outside of actual West Point. We were in the training area, if you will.
Yeah. I don't remember what the name of that camp was. It probably was something stupid like Camp Victory.
It's something like that. Yeah. And, so we're like staying in old barracks and there's a little chow hall and there was a lake behind us.
Yeah, I remember that.
And all of a sudden and we were there for what, a month or two?
It was, I think it was 48 days. I think it was 48 days. I don't know. It was close to 7 weeks, but yeah, a couple months.
Yeah. And so one day, all of a sudden, there's this tent popped up in like the middle of everything. And at first, it was $1 a beer.
Yeah.
And the whole battalion's getting fucked up together.
Oh, yeah.
And
I think that did more for camaraderie than anything.
And then it was, oh, wait, we can't sell alcohol. So now I'm sure there's some legal reason for that. And then it was
because we didn't have a license in the state of New York.
So then it became a free will donation with a big wink that it better be at least $1 a beer just to cover the cost of it, right? I'm sure that's what it was.
Sergeant Major Woodham's a great guy.
Oh my God. And boy, we went from like, okay, this kind of sucks to who gives a fuck? We're having a good time now.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it was
yeah, I always see he goes to Alaska and places like that, still goes fishing and stuff. Yeah. I mean, he looks like he's living his best life, retired, and I'm happy for him because he was a good guy. Yeah, he really was.
Yeah, I saw him at the Uday Kusei reunion. He was there and got
the tapeworm reunion.
Yeah, got to reconnect for that one. It was good. But yeah, that beer tent, man, that put him right up there in the top 1% of my sergeant majors I've ever had was that fucking beer tent. So
I think that 20-year reunion fell right after my wife had got sick or while she was sick. And, And,
yeah,
I actually cared about family after I got out.
Right.
Who knew?
Yeah. We'll do another one though, I'm sure, because that was good for everybody. Reunions are great.
Yeah. Because you're with people that actually know the same shit you walked across.
Yeah.
And they don't judge you. Because a lot of times I feel like even when you see counselors in the VA, you feel like they're judging what you're trying to tell them, and it makes you not want to open up. And if you don't open up, it's not helping you.
Well, they just don't understand it all.
Yeah.
Either. You got some 25-year-old civilian that has no life experience that's trying to counsel you. So
yeah, it's like all of the infantry guys that got that letter from the VA. I don't know how your job caused you to have knee, back, and neck problems. So,
we're reading the infantry job description, and we don't understand why you would have any issues. Yeah. Okay. I don't know what description they're reading, but
I don't know. They must have watched a movie and saw how quick those guys that were supposed to be platoon sergeants and senior NCOs, how quick they were moving around. They got around great. Why can't you all get around great?
Yeah. So after West Point, what did we do? I think it was probably a year before we deployed then. We deployed in 03.
We got put, I think, on DRF 1 for a part of that period. So that went through that whole bullshit of loading vehicles, taking them to the rail yard, and all that shit.
Yeah.
And I used to fucking hate that at Campbell because I'd been to airload planner school. So, there was just a huge headache.
Well, logistics suck.
Yeah.
Like it's
and they expect us grunts to get it right. It's not our daily job. We're going to get, if we don't care what's in the back of that vehicle, we want to ride on that vehicle. So we don't give a shit.
Yeah.
But the Air Force, I understand, if the plane goes down because you got you didn't get that load balance, they're not going to come talk to
you
me.
Forgot to account for 40,000 pounds. So there was a problem. Yeah.
Oops.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
You remember that whole deal when we were in the desert about civilian weapons?
Mm-hmm.
Zioli got
our whole platoon had.
Oh, I know. I knew you guys had.
Yeah. The smart ones who had civilian pistols brought Beretta Model 92s that looked just like the Army issued ones.
Yeah.
The idiots, Zioli, who brought nickel plated fucking bullshit.
Yeah.
Like, come on now.
What the fuck are you doing?
Yeah. I bought one on the Iraqi economy. When we first got to Anajaf, I can't remember. We were in a town staying in this little fucking shopping center building.
Oh, I remember that. And we had the dude that fired the 203 round.
Oh, I have that. That was my guy. I have a story. That story's been told in this podcast, but we're going to rehash it. But we were doing foot patrols out of that building, and there was a gun store that was still open because it was fresh and whatever. So I walked in there, and I'm like, how much for this pistol? And I just happened to have some Iraqi dinar. I don't know.
How did you handle that?
I don't know where I came across all the dinar that I had, but I bought this Iraqi pistol. I have a replica in my arms room of the one I had. But yeah, so I had an Iraqi pistol with me. But we all did.
I don't see a reason why they were worried in a combat zone about you having a personally owned weapon. Would they think y'all were going to get into a gunfight in the barracks? I mean, what the fuck?
Well, they should have just issued us pistols. Like 240 gunners should have pistols. We didn't have pistols.
Oh, yeah. You're supposed to have pistols.
You're supposed to. We're supposed to. They didn't give it to us. So,
well, why would they?
Right.
That would have made common sense. What? Didn't we just talk about common sense? It's not so common.
So let's go back to the 203 story.
Okay.
So I'm sure you heard about it. Obviously, you were the first sergeant. So tell me the story that you know, and I will tell you the story from me being exactly 1 foot away from it happening.
Honestly, this is all I really know. We had gotten packages in. It was a mail drop, and I was inventorying all the shit that we got, and I was down from my place on high. I was up. We were upstairs, and I was on the other side of that bottom thing, and I heard it go off, and I didn't know what the fuck it was.
Right.
And I hit the ground, and then I look up and I see the dent in the door, and that's as far as I knew. And then all hell broke loose.
Yeah. All right. So what happened was, so an AD, so we get in this building, and this is like on all four sides. It felt like there was roll up.
Yeah, it was like a bazaar.
Yeah.
It was like,
and we were like in a courtyard ish.
Yeah.
And there was all four sides of us. There was like these roll up doors that were down.
It was a new building.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, because I remember when the guy talked to us about it, he was mad because we were staying there, and we were like, it was empty.
Yeah. Yeah. And so some NCO, I don't remember who, But we got in this little new building and it was pretty secure. And so we were going to rack out because we needed to sleep.
Yeah, we put up the wire outside.
Yeah.
And hang
Yeah.
cars out.
And so we're going to rack out. And somebody had the great idea to stack weapons like World War II style, right? And so we're all putting our weapons in this fucking little pyramids and shit. And we hear an AD, right? Somebody shot around. Like, well, fuck. So we're looking. Nobody's fucking hit. So we're like, okay, that's good. Now we got to find out who fucking AD'd. So we're looking at everybody's safeties, right? Nobody's fucking gun is on fire. All the guns are in the fucking middle of the goddamn fucking thing, right? So I see one of my guys, his 203 had the safety off. So I opened the tube and an empty fucking shell falls out.
Fuck me.
Right?
That's what you said. Fuck me.
That's what I said. Fuck me. Right? And then we get to looking around and there's a big goddamn dent in a door.
You know?
So we're like, okay, fuck. Then we find the round laying there.
Yeah, and it hadn't gone off.
It hadn't hit the
and
arm.
everybody's going,
14 revolutions it takes to arm a fucking 203 round. Thank God, because our whole platoon would have been fucked. Yeah. We were in a 10 by 10 building.
Oh, yeah.
It was as big as this room.
I don't think that thing got 8 feet away before it hit that door. I don't think it was even 8 feet from where everybody was.
Yeah.
Where all you guys were.
And then the round is sitting there. So we're like, well, what the fuck do we do? So somebody put a K-pot on top of it, right?
Like that was going to stop it.
Right. And then all of I think the platoon sergeant and a couple E6s, and maybe you were involved in this. I don't know. Cause I was in my E5 lane at that point. Maybe E4 at that time. I don't even remember, but, they're like, well, we got to get rid of this. And this is like fresh into OIF 1. Like, we didn't have EOD. We didn't have none of that bullshit with us. So somebody's like, okay, they picked it up, put it in the K-pot, carrying the K-pot, get in the Humvee. And they're like, well, there's a river right there. We're just going to drive and throw it in the fucking river, right? Get rid of it. So as they're doing this, I don't know if you've ever heard this story.
I have not. I can tell you that for sure.
So as they're doing this, whoever it was, E6 type, that throws the 203 over the bridge, doesn't get it over the bridge, and it ricochets off the fucking railings.
A fucking moron.
So they're doing a drive-by with this fucking 203 round, trying to throw it in the river, and they miss the fucking river.
Yeah, that sounds like infantry guys.
Yeah.
Did they just leave it on the side of the road?
I think so.
Yeah.
I'm not 100% sure. I wasn't there for that. I just heard the story.
They were probably scared that after they threw it and it bounced off, that it rotated another 13 times.
Yeah. Like let's not test fate at this point.
Yeah.
So yeah. But so what happened? My guy did not AD this. As they were stacking the weapons, the fucking shit fell.
I don't think anybody got in any trouble.
No,
for that.
because it wasn't his fault.
Yeah.
I would have fought to the grave to that one because his rifle was over here and he was sitting next to me when it went off. So
I don't want to mention names, but we had the staff sergeant that almost killed the other staff sergeant.
Oh, I remember.
You remember that?
That was in that airplane hangar.
Yeah.
Or that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he
stole the bomber jacket off the fucking C-130. Same
and
motherfucker.
he ended up getting busted.
I hope so.
I don't want to mention his name, but
Well,
I mean, he was a staff sergeant and they busted him down to sergeant. I remember that part, but he deserved it. I remember he almost killed that guy.
Yeah.
He had a crease in his hair right on this side where it hit him. And when I talked to him the first time, you could see in his head, he knew that he had just freaking literally dodged a bullet.
Yeah.
But yeah, now he deserved to get busted. He was a good guy, but he deserved to get busted for that shit. It would have been worse if he'd have got him.
Oh, fuck.
Killed him.
And, ADs, right? They happen. But an AD that hits somebody.
Oh yeah.
That's a whole nother thing, right? We were talking about an old battalion commander that had a couple ADs. I think it was a battalion commander.
No, it's company
commander. I watched this company commander go up to the clearing barrel.
I remember that.
He dropped his mag, shoots the clearing barrel, puts the magazine back in, racks his gun, drops his mag, and shoots it again.
And it goes off.
Like, what the fuck, sir? Like,
I remember he was given a class on how to. They made him give the class on how to do the clearing barrel after he did that to the whole company, and then it wasn't even a week later. I'm upstairs. I was monitoring radio. I think I was talking to Sergeant Major, and all of a sudden, I hear pop, and I was like, "What the fuck happened?" And somebody said, CO hit the freaking barrel. And I was like, fuck me. Because, of course, they're like, First Sergeant, why you let him do that? Well, I can't help he's a moron. I mean, he's not really a moron, but he's just, at that time, I think they really set him up for failure because he wasn't that long out of Ranger School when they gave him company command.
I'm pretty sure before you get to Ranger School, though, you know how to clear your M4.
Well, I know, but I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt because I know after Ranger School, your brain is like so fried that and I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt on that. But then again, he was an intelligence officer, so that means he was probably a moron anyway.
Yeah,
but like I said, we won't.
But I don't know how many times in history somebody's shot the clearing barrel 2 rounds in a row. Like that's impressively stupid.
I think he had 3 accidental discharges. And then we talked about, we had stopped, we were going on a night mission and we were around a Humvee and they were checking the map, make sure everything was all right. So he takes his pistol out and he sets it up on the Humvee and then turns around and walks away. Pistol hits the ground, pieces everywhere. And it like holds up the mission for like 15, 20 minutes because they're up there with red lens flashlights looking for the pieces to this freaking weapon that he had dropped. And I was like, God,
so
damn it.
I have a story in my head and I can't remember. I think I was in Scout Platoon at the time, but I remember I think it was a company commander. I can't remember for sure if it was a company commander or a platoon leader, but they were in the passenger seat of the Humvee and their 9mm fell out of the Humvee, but it was on their lanyard.
I remember hearing the story, but I don't remember who it was.
I don't remember who it was either.
Yeah.
And it's like bouncing on the ground, but attached to the lanyard.
Oh, God.
Which is why we have fucking lanyards.
Yeah. Because of morons like you is the lanyard rule. I remember we used to, when we first got there, we used to get in Humvees and we would just go, just one Humvee. We didn't care. And then that Sergeant Major from the 50 Deuce got killed, him and his private, because he didn't have any support.
Yeah.
People just came up on it. And we didn't have up armored anything.
We had no doors.
And he got killed. And then it was, you need 3 Humvees for any movement, one of them, at least one's got to have a gun on it, when they move.
Probably for the better.
Yeah, probably.
Because it wasn't shortly after that, like in OIF 1, I don't think I was in any IEDs. In my second deployment in 2005, I was in a convoy 32 times that were IED.
Damn.
Yeah.
See, that's why I didn't stay the fuck in.
So
I didn't have any brain matter left as it was, but I didn't need to lose any more on IEDs. I think that part of the war was the worst part. At least our part of the war, we weren't scared to drive down the road. I mean,
we weren't.
And I don't know if it was just we were too stupid not to be scared, or
there was no evidence of it yet. So
the bad guys hadn't had time to
figure it out,
to build their little bombs that they put.
Yeah.
And a lot of people think they were little bombs, but some of them freaking monsters.
Yeah.
I heard a story, I don't know if it's true or not, that they had an M1 tank got flipped by an IED. It hit, it rolled over it on one.
That's a big idea.
And it freaking flipped it completely over. And I remember they used to advertise that tank as nothing the Soviets had could penetrate it and all that other stuff. I don't know if that story was true.
I tell you what, the second deployment, they gave us Bradleys as a cav unit. They gave us fucking Bradleys, and Bradleys do not fare well in IED.
Oh, I'd say they wouldn't.
No, a lot of our guys got burned in the Bradleys. Bradleys are they didn't do well on the IEDs.
Was it a Bradley or APC that young black staff sergeant? I don't know if they had an IED or what, and everybody in the back. It wasn't our unit. Everybody in the back caught on fire, and he was pulling people out and kept going in and just closed it completely. He ended up getting the Medal of Honor, but it took years of people campaigning to get it to him. I thought that would have been an easy one.
Yeah.
But it might have been a M113. Might not have been a Bradley. I honestly don't remember because at that time I was out of the Army. And
I didn't see many 113s over there.
I don't remember what it was. But
yeah.
Then again, I'm a moron.
Well, we had Bradley's, Strikers. I don't remember 113s.
Though everything I heard about the Striker guys that relieved us up there, everything I hear is that they were probably the worst thing for that town.
Really?
Because they didn't patrol on foot. We patrolled on foot.
Yeah.
We talked to the locals. We bought our soda from the locals.
Yeah.
We grabbed food from the locals. You know, we were down there and they knew who we were.
Yeah.
And
we were winning the hearts and minds. We went through that phase.
We were because we were giving them lots of U.S. money.
This is the
That's him.
Yeah,
That's the guy. Does it say what he was in? Whether
it was in a Bradley.
It was a Bradley. Yeah,
yes, sir. Wore the Medal of Honor.
I mean, that's
Pulled 6 soldiers and a interpreter.
Well, let's what's his name?
Alwyn Case.
Yes, there we go.
Or Cash. Sorry, shit, I can't even read. Wasn't a requirement when I joined the Army. But yeah, it took so long. I mean, if you look at the time of when it happened and then when he got awarded the Medal of Honor, how long was it in between? 2005 is when he got when he did the action.
Yes.
And how long was it that it doesn't? Does it say what year, or does it show the?
Go all the way up, Justin.
It's there's a link somewhere to the citation, and the citation would have a date on it as to when they actually gave it to him.
I will see if I can find that real fast.
Well, do something over there.
Yeah. One of the stories I do want to tell is when did we get the Gators? The John Deere Gators. We didn't have them initially, but we got them shortly after.
We got them right after we got in country. It wasn't very long. It was right before. I think
I remember them dropping them off in Chinooks in Negev, right?
Yeah. Because I drove mine off of the back of a Chinook.
Right.
And then I let somebody else drive it because I wasn't going to try to go through the ditch and everything, you know. Pulled rank, said, fuck that. And I walked up behind, Jesse Shulaw, he was a captain. He worked at battalion. And I was walking behind him, and there was a dog that came at me, and I just shot it in the head and kept walking, scared the shit out of him. He didn't know what it was. You know, he's ducking. I said, it's just a dog. Kept walking. He's like, shot somebody's dog. I said, I'm going to let shit bite me. Fuck it.
Well, they're wild dogs over there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. That's funny. But we were in Negev, and Negev is where we got into like our first big firefight.
Yeah.
Right. And that's when we got our CIBs and all that bullshit. So, yeah, we that was fun because it was the first time we got to see like an Apache lay waste to some shit.
Oh God, yeah.
Some A10s were in and fucking
A10s.
dropping a 3-story building down to a 2-story building, which was pretty cool. Remember that A10? It came in, did the gun run, did a loop, another gun run.
Yeah.
And then flew off, and it was all the chaff and flares and shit.
And we're like,
It was like the fucking best.
That's so fucking
It was
cool.
fucking awesome. Yeah, it was fucking awesome.
it's the only fun moment you come.
Right? That A10, I think the Apache, it must have shot a huge fuel tank of some kind. Because remember that
it blew up and there was this huge thing of black smoke.
fucking mushroom cloud of smoke.
I think on that print that you got and I've got, I think isn't there a big black mushroom
Maybe
smoke on the back of it?
Yeah.
I don't remember.
I have
everything.
one of these Polaroids is of that. Yeah. That was pretty cool. Remember when we got to the airfield?
Oh God!
With this big fucking bulldozers, remember? We had to take the airfield into Jeff, and
that was really hard.
We were ready for this huge battle, right? We're taking an airfield,
and there was nobody.
There was one hut with a family. Oh my God! Were you the first sergeant? Were you the first sergeant? Tell me yes. This has to be. I have this great story. You were walking around offering this family water.
I don't know if I offered them. I know we got them.
You had a jug. And you were pouring them water.
That sounds like.
And you were getting offended because none of them were taking the water.
Well, I don't blame them. I wouldn't trust a bunch of motherfuckers with guns.
But you were pouring them the water out of the jug that was in the shitter that they washed their fucking hands with. But we didn't know this at the time. Do you remember this?
Yes.
I remember this. You were trying to be a nice guy because we like detained this family. Nicely. We were very polite about it.
I didn't know what freaking
nobody knew. Nobody fucking knew then. But it took me a year or two after to like think back to this story.
I forgot all about that shit.
Why these people were like, no, I don't want your fucking water.
I don't want your shit water. What the hell's wrong with you?
So the Iraqis have a hole in the ground that they shit in.
Yeah.
Right. Sometimes it's a nice porcelain hole.
Oh yeah.
Right.
And sometimes it's just a hole in the ground.
But they don't have toilet paper. But they have a jug
to wash your hands
of water sitting next to it that they wash their ass with, right?
Yeah.
We didn't know. You're offering them water out of this fucking jug.
Trying to be, like you said, hearts and minds.
Right.
Apparently I didn't think of assholes when I was trying.
You were the first sergeant for that. It had to be. Yeah.
Oh God.
I remember that story.
That's fucking ridiculous.
And then remember when we had the missile and we all had to NBC up. You remember that?
Yeah. And I remember we were NBC'd up for it was like the time we're supposed to be sleeping.
Yes.
And you can't sleep.
Yeah, we were all pissed off about it.
And we were wearing that shit. And I remember right before we went NBC up, we had found some wild onions.
Mm-hmm.
And
they were delicious.
I'd wipe these onions off and I'd put them in some bullshit MRE thing that I was eating because those things taste so much better with hot sauce or anything else.
Yeah.
And then we got a firefight not too long after that, and I hit the shits. And here I am, and I'm like, fuck, I'm gonna shit my pants in the middle of a firefight. And I was off to the right-hand side, and you guys were over here, and the company commander's way up front. And I remember that Sergeant Garza was trying to get him and his RTO to come back, and he ran up there. But here I am, I'm sitting over here, and I've got my pants down around my ankles, and I'm shitting water right out my asshole, and I'm like, the whole fucking time, and I'm like, this is what I'm going to die today, and they're going to find me over here with my pants down around my ankles and wonder whether I was fucking the donkey over there or not.
Or just jerking off. We would have assumed.
Jerking off is what I would have assumed.
We would have assumed that.
But after I saw that guy and the donkey, after that, good Lord.
Well, let's go back to this NBC thing. Do you remember how we all cleared this?
No, I don't. I know we didn't get a call about all clearing.
No, we had to. So we had.
Oh yeah, we had to take a soldier and
we had all the test kits.
Yeah.
Remember, but nobody's test kit survived. Everybody's shit,
diving around on the ground.
everybody's shit was popped.
Yeah.
So the procedure is to get the least most important soldier, and
the
have them
youngest private,
Yep.
make them take their mask off and then watch them.
So this was in my squad again, right? So
who was the sacrificial lamb?
I'll get to that. Sergeant Garino and our PL, they're having a little powwow. We're all concerned because there's this fucking NBC bullshit, right? Whatever. So the PL and Sergeant Garino walk up to Gayton.
Oh, is that who it was?
Right? I think that's who it was. They walk up to him, and the Sergeant Garino's like, "Hey, can I see your rifle?" He's like, "Yeah."
Sergeant, get away from
Sergeant Garino fucks right the fuck off with his rifle, and the PL's like, "Hey, we need you to break loose your pro mask." Now, at the time, this is terrifying, right, for all of us.
Yeah, because we don't know if there's NBC out there. We don't know what.
Well, we assumed there was NBC.
Yeah, but
like that was the threat. Like we were already in partial. We were in J list.
Back then, we went everywhere. We're in the pants.
Yeah,
and
it sucked
top.
balls.
Oh,
yeah. And then now we're in pro masks. We're fucking all NBC'd up, right? And yeah, they take his rifle, make him fucking pop his mask.
At least they were smart enough to take his rifle.
That's fucking procedure. I remember doing like EIB and shit, and like you had to know the procedure for all this. And you're thinking, like, when in the fuck would we ever have to
exactly
do this?
Why would you have to take
one?
their weapon?
When are we ever going to be in an NBC environment? Two, why would we ever have to go to the fucking least important person in the platoon? Right?
There was a lot of people at that time that were like, "Fuck, I wish I had paid attention during NBC classes," because they didn't know how to do shit. They were like, Did I fix my mask? Does it seal right?
But see, I'm watching this in real time, and I know the NBC procedure, so I know exactly when I watched him grab the rifle and walk away with it, I knew exactly what the fuck was going on. I may have been one of the only ones in the platoon that like had the awareness to see what the fuck was actually happening here. But I'm like, oh, that's fucked up. That's what I'm thinking, right? But now when I look back on it, this shit's fucking hilarious.
Oh, it's fucking funny as hell because you're watching the guy just stand there. And
Yeah.
Like,
And then
you're waiting for him to start twitching.
and one of my real good friends, Fitzgerald,
I remember
when we got the NBC call, he couldn't get his fucking pro mask out. He couldn't get that motherfucker on. He was on the fucking pro mask struggle bus. And he's freaking the fuck out. The more he's freaking out, the least effective he was being, right? And he is fucking freaking the fuck out. I remember this. Oh my God.
He in real world, he might have passed that task at EIB, but he sure as hell flunked it in combat.
Oh, he flunked it. He was like, I don't know what the EIB standard is. Maybe eight seconds.
I think it's 8 seconds to get your mask on and cleared and sealed, and then it's another 7 seconds or something to get the hood down,
right?
The straps attached, and all that.
And he's going on like a minute, and he's fucking freaking the fuck out. It was funny.
Yeah, we see it as funny, but I bet you he was like, "Oh my God, I'm gonna die."
Yeah, no, he was shitting his pants. It was,
and everybody's like, "He's gonna do the kicking chicken over there."
Right.
We'll get to practice with our atropine.
By the time we got to Gayton, I already knew it was bullshit because Fitz didn't die.
Yeah.
Because that was in the plume of the smoke.
I remember they used to say that every scud that they sent over Pennsylvania, we used to see someone get shot. Every single one of them was carrying chemical weapons. And I remember after a while, I was like, if they used all their chemical weapons already, why are we even carrying masks? Because I know they didn't have that many damn chemical weapons.
Right.
But scuds were like, I would say they're like the rubber band pistol of all freaking missiles because those things never landed where they were supposed to.
It was a slingshot.
I mean,
a ballistic slingshot. That's what it was.
10, 12 miles away from where they told you they were going.
Oh boy, did we have when we were in Camp PA, man, we would see the Scuds go over, and we would see the Patriot missiles
Yeah.
intercept them.
Hit them.
And we had the best view of this.
It was great.
Right over us. It was awesome. Yeah.
We could have, at that time, we could have been like poster children for Patriots work, you know, because, you know, there's always those Senate things where they say, was that system effective in combat? Well,
Yeah.
when we saw it, that motherfucker worked.
Yeah.
It worked.
And then we saw like day one when they were bombing the fuck out of Baghdad.
Oh, God.
All of the cruise missiles flew right the fuck over us. Like it was fucking awesome. You saw this fucking thing it wasn't even that high. They were real fucking low, flying fast as fuck right over us. And then we had a TV tent. We'd be watching it on the fucking, like, there goes one, and you'd watch it on the TV and
and watch where it hit.
Yeah. Fucking 10 minutes later, you'd see it fucking, or however long, I don't know. But yeah.
I just think it was funny that we sat there and we had more fun watching other people blow shit up because helicopters, A-10s, like you were talking about, cruise missiles, Patriots, and you're just like, that's so fucking cool.
Yeah. Then we blew that statue up.
You remember when you all, we were there and they wanted to pull that statue down, but you all had to clear the hospital that was on the other side of it. And they sent your platoon in. And I was standing on the other side. We had a tank over there. There was a tank over there.
Yep.
And I was standing beside that tank. And the lieutenant in the tank, I'm listening to him. And he's telling his gunner movement in the freaking building over there. And I'm panicking because I know you guys are the movement in the building. And I'm hollering at him, don't fucking fire. That's friendlies over there. Don't fucking fire. I ended up taking my Kevlar off and hitting him with it before he realized, and he got mad and he wanted me court-martialed.
So you want to hear the side of the story that?
Oh, from inside the building. What did you all?
So I don't know if I don't think I was in the building. It was a different squad, but John was in the building. And he tells the story of, I think it's him and Ackerman saw the tank turning on.
Oh, yeah.
And a mad dash to get the VS-17 panel out.
It would have just, those tankers would have just took it as an aiming point.
And that's what they thought stopped the tank. So for when John listens to this and he's going to hear you hit him in the head with the...
I hit him in the head and he was so mad. He wanted me court-martial. And by that point, I had already figured out that they weren't going to court-martial me in the zone. And I was probably going to end up dead before we got out of it anyway. So I really didn't give a shit, you know.
Yeah.
And I was already ready to divorce my third wife. So there wasn't anything that I was leaving behind I gave a shit about. So, you know.
Yeah.
Except my motorcycle, probably. But no, I remember that. And he got so fucking pissed off. And I remember the captain, the company commander we had at that time, looked at me like, you're going to get me fired. That's all he seemed to care about.
Which is crazy because you stopped a tank from shooting my platoon up. Like,
but
like, what the fuck?
He wasn't even thinking. I don't think he even realized that tank was about to fire at that building. But it was, I mean, some of the shit that happened was so stupid. You would think there would be some kind of communication before you did that.
Right.
But we're right next to the fucking tank. The company that's in the building is right next to the fucking tank. And we're like, hey, don't fire that. But they had so much bloodlust, I guess, they hadn't got to fire their weapon yet.
Yeah.
And they wanted to fire.
I understand.
That I do understand. Getting to fire rounds for the first time, you know, when you're really firing at somebody, it's pretty freaking fun until you hear the bullets cracking back over your
But
head.
it's kind of like losing your virginity.
Yeah.
It's
once, and then you're like, well,
the first time you're like, oh yeah, we get to shoot back. So right before that though, we were when the Apaches and all that shit were happening, right?
Mm-hmm.
Somebody was calling in 155s.
Oh God.
You remember that?
I don't remember the 155.
So I remember the 155s because they called it in on our position
No.
on an airburst. I watched that motherfucker burst, and I still have a pice of shrapnel in my office. I'll show you.
Oh,
I picked that
fuck
piece.
me.
I picked that piece of shrapnel up and burnt the fuck out of my fingers because I wasn't thinking it'd be hot. It was hot.
Didn't take me long to learn that those things are really fucking hot when they hit the ground. Who would have thought all of that powder and shit would have made that thing hot? God, I didn't remember the airburst shit.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like,
but that wasn't our fault because we had FOs.
oh, I know.
It was the FO's fault. So
I remember a lot of times you're walking around and everything's so surreal to you because, you know, you see shit blow up and you know somebody blew it up, or you see freaking bullet holes next to where you're at, and you know you were standing there when those bullets were fired, but it doesn't feel real.
no, it doesn't.
It's like you saw too many war movies, and you know you see the little rounds pop next to them into the wall, and in a way that's how you feel because none of them hit you, but all it takes is one of them to go over your head and you hear it crack to realize this ain't no fucking joke.
Yeah.
We're stupid. We're standing up instead of behind cover.
So you remember the donkey that got shot up, right?
Oh God, yeah.
Okay, so before that firefight happened, we were carrying all of our shit in J-list. And the second we got shot at, the whole company dropped their fucking rucks, and we were like, oh, thank God. Like we were fucking relieved.
Getting to drop rucksacks was the best part about combat. Everybody's like, yes. Because I'm willing to fight because I don't want to put that shit back on.
Yeah. And that was before we had the Gator, because we were carrying the AT4s, the javelins, the mortar rounds. We were carrying so much fucking shit. It was ridiculous. In J-list. Like we were in our chemical suits.
God.
Yeah. And then when we got to that T intersection with the donkey and somebody called for an AT4, I was way back in this line.
And you're trying to run forward.
But I watched 8 people drop rucks and get their AT4s out in 3.5 seconds.
They all wanted to.
They called for an AT4 and they had 10 of them in like 12 seconds. It was the most amazing thing I had ever seen in my life.
You know what I remember about that was we're shooting across the road, right? And bus goes by.
Oh, yeah.
And people are on the bus and we're still shooting. And
It
the
drives.
lights on inside the bus and you can just see the little hose start to develop inside the bus as it goes.
We're at a T intersection. So we're coming down the big part of the T and we're getting shot at from kind of diagonal from this intersection. And we're fucking shooting back. And this bus just comes and we don't see it coming. It drives right through all the goddamn gunfire and out the other side. It was fucking crazy. Yeah.
I always wondered if there were somebody that got shot.
There had
to be. Oh, I do know that there.
That taxi driver by the donkey, he got fucked up.
Oh. I remember this is like the morbid, sad part of combat. The kid that got shot and his dad came and asked us if we had seen him, and he was over. We had already covered up the kid that had been shot. And he came over and our company commander spoke a little bit of Farsi, and he was trying everything in the world but to tell this dad that he knew where his son was. He was right there underneath that white, whatever it was we threw over him. I don't remember what it was, but I remember that.
I don't remember that.
I remember I took one of the, to clear that building, I went with one of the, I think it was one of the saw gunners, and to the back, we cleared and went to the back side of the building. And there was this was after we'd been in that building, and then we'd moved down toward the hospital.
Right.
And I was like, we left all those fucking weapons back there.
Yeah.
Why did we leave those fucking weapons
on the donkey cart?
Yeah. So I went back there with somebody, I don't remember who it was. And we re-cleared the building before we even went back with the donkey cart. And there's a kid leading the donkey cart full of weapons away. And whoever it was, I don't remember, wanted to shoot the kid. And I was like, don't shoot the kid, shoot the fucking donkey. Because then he can't take the cart.
Yeah.
And so he was, I'm just going to shoot it all. And I popped rounds around the kid, like 20 meters to his right, then 20 meters to left. And he let go of the donkey and he ran away. But I know at some point they went back and got all that shit. But I just didn't want him to shoot our guys in the rear with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I don't remember his name, but he really wanted to shoot that kid. And
that's crazy.
That bothered me.
Yeah.
It really bothered me.
Because I felt like I can't speak for the whole company, our platoon, I felt like we were very moral in every decision we
I think as a
made.
company, we were very moral to the point that it could have been to our detriment if somebody had evil intent.
Yeah.
But what I remember is when they gave us the order that you can't shoot unless they shoot at you first.
Yeah.
I remember that.
I had to deal with that as a sniper.
And I remember and if they see you as a sniper, you just fucking flunked your test in the first.
That's what I fucking said. I'm like, then why are you putting us out here? Like, you want me to do jumping jacks until they shoot at me? Like,
yeah,
what
no
the fuck?
shit.
Like, I don't, yeah.
But I remember I talked to the platoon sergeants and I said, after the company commander gave the host speech, you can't shoot unless they shoot at you first. Even if you feel threatened, until they shoot, you can't shoot, which I thought was the stupidest shit I'd ever heard. And I talked to the platoon sergeants and I said, look, there's nobody in this chain of command that's going to hang you out to dry. I've got 6 AKs in the back of this Humvee over here. If you shoot somebody and they don't have a weapon, by the time we get to them, they'll have a weapon.
Yeah.
Because
well, and we wouldn't have shot at anybody that didn't have a weapon. But the problem is, by the time we shot somebody else would have come and grabbed the weapon.
Exactly.
Like, that was the fucking issue.
And then, that was like going down a city street and there's one guy that has a weapon and you have to shoot him, but there's 6 people walking behind him that are just going about their daily routine, but you can't sit there and not shoot him. And somebody, our marksmanship wasn't that great. Somebody was going to get shot. And they don't understand that civilians get killed in war zone.
Yeah.
More civilians than soldiers.
Well, and we had PSYOPs at the time. They were telling everybody to go in their fucking...
Let the bodies hit the floor.
Let the bodies hit the floor.
I remember that.
Yeah, that was a good one. Remember when everybody, bad guys and us, we all stopped firing to listen to this for like 10 seconds?
We're like, this is fucking cool. What the hell?
See, Justin's heard these stories before, and this is unprompted.
This is so
I haven't talked to you in 25 years.
No, just a couple of texts when I told you I was coming.
Yeah.
That was about it.
But yeah, this is unprompted. So
I feel like
there's validation that these stories that we've told on this podcast have been true.
It's also cool getting to see it's like a second angle of the story.
Yeah, because
cool.
John and I were E5s, and having a first sergeant's perspective of things. It's
you know what I hate about being a first sergeant? Where's the first sergeant supposed to be when bullets start?
Yeah,
in the back. I didn't want to be in the back. I want to be up front. I didn't want my CIB to be for beans and bullets in the bag. But honestly, it's where I ended up being. I used to come forward when I heard that company commander on the radio because I knew he was going to say something that was not going to work. And I hate talking about somebody like that, but I mean,
it is what it is.
He was great at what his job really was.
Yeah.
But at that time in history, he really didn't need to be in the position he was in.
Yeah.
And I love him to death. I mean, I liked him as a person. But we talked earlier, there's a lot of people that you like as people.
Yeah.
But when they're doing their job and your life is on the line, you don't like them as much because you know that.
Well, there's just no room for tolerance at that point.
Oh yeah, because like at that point, if they fuck up, it's not on them, it's on you, because you're going to end up, shot, or one of your soldiers are going to get shot. And that was I always worried about after the staff sergeant almost shot the other staff sergeant.
Right.
I always worried that our first combat injury was going to be from fratricide.
Right.
And I knew that would just be horrible if that happened.
And the shitty part about having that worry is that it inhibits our effectiveness if the leadership is worried about that.
Yeah.
Right. Like,
well, I didn't bother you all. I mean, shit, you all operated, we operated more in company, platoons, and we operated as a company. I mean, you all did mostly platoon level or squad level patrols. There was never any company level.
No, we were all pretty spread out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it basically came down to, as long as the platoon sergeant didn't have his head so far up his ass that everything was chocolate, shit was going to be okay.
Yeah.
It didn't depend so much on how stupid I was or how stupid the company commander was, because face it, by the time we went to combat the first time, the platoon sergeants we had in place had been leaders in the military for at least, let's say, minimum 10 years.
Yeah. So
if they fucked up at that point, there's nothing I could have done about it anyway.
Right.
It'd been too late.
And I don't know for sure. I think there was some divisiveness between some of the platoon sergeants and maybe you and some of the platoon sergeants. I don't know for sure.
Well, I had things with some of the platoon sergeants, but I never let that get in the way of who I put in the most dangerous situations, because I knew that even though we might not have personally got along, I knew that that person was going to make sure the job got done.
And like our platoon sergeant, Sergeant Garino, like the whole platoon would have followed him anyway.
Oh, I know.
We had the utmost respect for Sergeant Garino.
You all ended up in the front on most shit.
Yeah.
If you think about it.
Yeah. I'm
trying to see how many cigars I can smoke, because I'm too cheap to buy them. See how many I can get before I get them. But Garino was a very good platoon sergeant. He was really good at his job.
He was good at team building.
Mm-hmm. And when you build a strong team like that, once you build the team and they trust you, like you said, you'll follow them anywhere, because you trust that he wouldn't send you somewhere that there wasn't some chance of survival from it. He wouldn't just sacrifice you for the greater good, even though when you look at military tactics, sometimes they do set it up where somebody gets. Now, that's what I thought when we got our very first op order at Pennsylvania was, remember, originally, I think the op order was that we were going to go and secure bridgeheads so that the tanks could come across.
Yeah.
And we were going to be leaving squad or half platoon size elements to fend for themselves at these different crossings. And I was of the mind that we're going to lose a lot of people if that happens. And
it ended up where they moved through so fast that wasn't. It wasn't even a mission.
It didn't even matter. But in my mind, it was, how long is it going to take them to get through, and how long are the guys going to be hung out there? And I remember Garino had a big problem with that.
Yeah.
Just, leaving his soldiers out there to die. He was huge on that. And I did have a talk with him. I said, look, you can hate it all you want, but don't tell your soldiers,
Right.
You can hate me and you can hate the mission all you want, but the soldiers have to believe in the mission. And honestly, I think that's a big problem that a lot of leaders don't understand. The soldiers understand what the risk is.
Yes.
Once you tell them, hey, we're putting you out here, you know that you are potentially cannon fodder, because where we put you with nothing out there. And I think the old Army doctrine never gave soldiers the credit for how smart they were. They knew what the situation was.
Right.
And most of them that trusted their leaders were going to go do the right thing anyway, whether you told them to do the right thing or not.
Well, you look back at military history, right? And how many times has an American unit been outnumbered 10-1 and still come out on top? Like, there's a reason for that.
That's,
you know,
that's because we had Cat West outside. Everybody wanted to get home to that stripper of theirs that was being faithful to them while they were within the war zone. Oh God.
Yeah.
I got to say that
I do want to bitch about something.
Oh, that's what I'm been waiting on.
So when we air assaulted into Iraq, we landed close to evening in the middle of the desert.
And we were digging fighting positions.
And we were digging fighting positions.
For no fucking reason.
But not only did we dig fighting positions, we moved like 3 times. From here
about 20 feet over this.
20 feet over this way.
And then back. And then
back.
Way.
We're digging with E-tools. We're digging Ranger graves, right?
Yeah,
like
basically what
in the middle of the desert where you could clearly see 20 fucking miles, nobody's coming.
Yeah, we would have seen the dust from anything.
There's no threat. And like, I'll dig a fucking fighting position with an E-tool, but I don't want to dig one 3 motherfucking times.
Because we moved in. Yeah, I was like, I feel like such an idiot because, you know, I'm the one that's got to tell the platoon sergeants, hey, we're moving over here. We're about to do the same shit that we were doing over here. And they're looking at me like I've got a dick growing out of my forehead. And I can't do anything about it because that's what, you know, I never did understand. I never did get an answer as to why we moved fucking maybe 10 meters this way.
Literally. So
we had just dug holes here and now we need, I don't know, maybe they were trying to put a big SOS in the ground. I don't know what
I felt
trying to do.
Like, I'm glad you as a first sergeant had no idea either, because as an E5, I sure as
you would be surprised what I didn't fucking know. Found out later.
And then when we were in Najaf and the whole company got, well, the firefight at the T intersection.
Yeah.
We had no water.
Oh yeah, we were completely out of water.
They couldn't keep water up to us. And so I remember there was this hose running and the whole goddamn company drank out of this fucking hose.
Yeah.
But it looked clear. It was the clearest water. It was cold.
Dysentery all around.
And the whole company had dysentery and it fucked, like, we were puking and shitting at the same time for like what?
And we didn't have any
4 or 5 days.
We didn't have any latrines at all.
Nothing. No.
Nothing.
Oh, it was miserable.
It was like guys were just saying, okay, that's the designated shit area. Just go over there and shit. We left huge piles of shit for somebody to clean up.
Yeah, it was liquid mostly.
It was,
yeah, it was terrible. But then when we flew out in Najaf to Baghdad, I remember we're in our J list. We're on this airfield. I think we got trucked to the airfield. I don't remember. But we're here. And we have to go to a Chinook. It's 1,000 fucking meters that way.
I remember that. And everybody had all this equipment on. And
I'm like, why doesn't the motherfucker just land right here? Yeah. Why are we walking?
I remember having that conversation. Why the fuck are we walking all the way over there?
But I'm following a guy. I'm following Ferry. You remember Ferry?
I remember Ferry.
I'm following Ferry. And we're in J list. We're fucking carrying all of our equipment. He's walking in front of me. He does the emergency rucksack release, right? It flops down on the ground. He throws his top off. He gets his suspenders halfway down and then starts putting it all back on because it was too late. He fucking shit himself, and then he had to keep walking. Oh, it was fucking miserable. I mean, we're like, this is like a couple days out of the dysentery thing. Oh my God.
It's like I said, having a firefight with your pants down around your freaking ankles going, God, I'm going to fucking die with, shit stains on my asshole.
I was so mad because I came from the aviation world, right?
Yeah.
I did 3 months on the job training. I came back and I'm like, I know for a fact, if somebody just asked that fucking helicopter to land here, they would. And I don't know why we fucking...
like you said, there was nothing out there.
Nothing.
It was completely
a wide open desert.
And somebody decided, well, we'll put the panel down here instead of where these guys can walk 10 meters and get onto the back. Some idiot puts it way down there.
I feel like it was a fucking half hour to hour movement. It was fucking...
Oh, it took a while. I remember that.
It was fucking crazy stupid. And then we landed in Baghdad and we forgot all about it because we were busy.
Oh yeah. Baghdad was good. Remember? Mosul, once we got stationary, was real fun.
Yeah, Mosul was great. Let's talk about the Geraldo days.
Oh my God. Goddard. I remember
Geraldo Rivera.
I remember we were in that schoolyard.
Yep.
Okay. We're in the schoolyard and we had like 2 or 3 different generals and some other idiots come up there. And every time one of those people came up there, the first sergeant gets the great job of freaking taking them around the perimeter and explaining to them what the fuck's going on and everything else. And I had just laid down because I was sick of fucking generals. I was sick of colonels. I was sick of all those motherfuckers. And they said, somebody came in. I don't remember who it was. It might have been Heights. And he's got a smirk on his face. We've got another VIP. And I'm fucking mad. And so I'm grabbing my shit and pulling my shit on and cussing motherfucking bullshit. And I get to the door and I open the door and it's Geraldo. And I'm like, who the fuck are you? or no, I said, what the fuck are you doing here? And he goes, what the fuck are you doing here? And I was like, I don't know. But I remember that. I remember that by that point, everybody had those little cheesy mustaches and shit going on. And I remember looking at Geraldo thinking he must have started his cheesy mustache way before we did because he had such a cheesy, and he was so short. That's what got me, is he was such a short man. I don't know if people realize how short he was, but he was, he wanted it. He literally just wanted us to go get into a firefight. Yeah. So that he could film it.
Yeah.
And we're like, no, we don't want to get shot at for the fun of it.
Yeah.
What the fuck's wrong with you? But I remember somewhere I have a picture of me and him and Sergeant Major Woodhams. I remember when we first found those Darth Vader type helmets. You remember those big ones? I've got a picture of Sergeant Major Woodhams, one of those in his head with his hands on his side like this. It's so ridiculous, but I remember just the craziest shit from that. And freaking Geraldo, I remember that Goddard had to go be on what was the broadcast. I don't know if it's broadcast.
Oh, because he got the Bronze Star.
Yeah, because he got the Bronze Star. He was, and I know he got to talk to his wife while he's on the show, and I was like, this is the biggest goat fuck I've ever heard of. We're doing a TV show in the middle of the fucking desert. Why didn't they fight this war like Big Brother or some shit if we were going to do that? I mean, every time they asked me to give somebody up for some stupid shit like that, you know me, I was rolling my eyes. And I'm like, why? Why the fuck are we wasting soldiers' time? The soldier would rather be asleep. He doesn't give a shit about Geraldo. He doesn't give a shit about Geraldo's show. He doesn't.
And he especially doesn't give a shit that Geraldo wants to go get into a fight.
Oh, God, yes.
But yeah, I'm not a Geraldo fan to this day because of how much of a piece of shit he was.
Well, what made me mad is I heard, I don't know how true it is. It probably is fairly true, but he spent some time with, I think it was the 187. And when they left country, he left all his generators with them.
Oh.
And I was pissed about that. I said, you came and woke me up and you couldn't at least gave me a fucking generator out of the fucking deal? What the fuck? But I mean, it was shit like that. And then getting calls from Sergeant Major, and I know he's just doing his job. I need X amount of people to go to a Kid Rock concert in somewhere. And they had to fly there and go to the concert and come back. And I'm like, these guys don't want to do this. They would rather. There were some of them that wanted to go see Kid Rock. I grant you that. But the majority of them wanted to go sleep.
Yeah.
You know, they would have rather laid down.
Well, we were busy. It's not like there was no, like, we were busy. We're like, I remember we didn't know where we were staying each night.
No, we didn't.
We just had to pick a building and make it home. And then
we
stay there for a week maybe. And
we were talking earlier about the 10,000 fly place we ended up.
Oh God, yeah.
Oh, that place was horrible.
You were the bathroom, literally 10,000 flies. He's not shitting you. You would try to take a shit and you would have flies going up your butt.
You didn't have to worry about wiping your ass. The flies were taking all the shit off of it.
So bad. It was so bad.
It really looked like an algae now. But yeah, those flies were just horrible. And I remember the company commander's like, this is a good place. And I'm like, it's a good place security wise, but it's not a good place to go take a shit. I mean, have you been down there? And that's when I ran into Jesse Shula for the very first time. Him and Zioli were friends before that, but that's the first time I remember running into him was when we were in the Fly Palace. And if I remember correctly, and I might be wrong, it was a wedding chapel of some type.
I think you're right. It was like a rental.
Yeah, they could rent it out for weddings and shit. And
there was a bunch of the white plastic cheap chairs.
Yes,
bitch.
Yes, and we broke almost every fucking one of them.
Yeah, because we try to. Yeah.
I remember we went for showers. I don't remember where it was. We went for showers, and it was.
I think we put up some poncho liners, and there was a water tank on the roof.
And there was another unit that was. We were kind of sitting in there near their area. It wasn't one of our units. I don't remember who the fuck it was. And I had went and taken a white chair. It's a white chair. I don't know who the fuck owns a white chair. I went and took a white chair and brought it over so that I could sit my fat, happy ass down. And I'm sitting in the chair and some specialist or sergeant comes up to me and says, "That's my chair." And I'm like, "I'm pretty sure you didn't carry this on your fucking back." So I'm kind of thinking it belonged to one of the fucking Iraqis here. It didn't belong to you. And they started giving me shit. And they gave me so much shit. I said, "Okay, you can have your chair back." And I took that chair and I freaking threw it on the ground and broke it into about 15 pieces. And the company commanders over their eyes fucking wide. I'm like, "There's your fucking chair. You can have it back." And walked away. And they said, "What's your name? What's your name?" And I gave my name. I didn't give a fuck. And it wasn't even an hour after that truck showed up. We got on and went back to wherever we come from. But I was so mad over that fucking plastic. Some of the shit that you get mad about. That plastic chair just pissed me off. That's my plastic chair.
For one, it was the worst place to shit because of the flies.
Oh God.
2, it was the nicest place we'd shit in a while because we cut a hole in the plastic chair and we could actually sit down
and take a dump. People don't realize how versatile plastic chairs really are in a combat zone.
Yeah. And how much of a convenience it is to sit on something while taking a dump.
And you were trying to do that squat where you're trying to lean your legs back and there's nothing to hold onto, and you're trying to balance falling on your ass
in everybody else's shit.
In everybody else's dump site and keeping yourself from falling forward. I got so. I remember getting so drunk one time, not in the combat zone, but I remember getting drunk drunk one time, falling face first, and woke up when I was trying to take a shit. And, I'd fell off the toilet and was like that. But it was like every soldier was like trying to hold their turds in because they did not want to fight the flies, first of all. And they were worried about, because and I know that if anybody had come out and said they fell in the shit, we would have never let them forget it.
No.
In a million years, we would have never let them forget that they fell in all our shit right there. Because that's just the way infantry guys are. We're assholes to each other.
Were you there for the elections?
No, I was already back in the States when the elections came across. I remember seeing the pictures of the people with the purple fingers. I think that was what they were doing for the elections. I wasn't there for the elections. Honestly, all the time I wasn't there, I didn't miss being there. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
I mean, when I used to think about it, when the bullets were cracking and we were in the middle of some shit and I was walking around like a moron, standing upright, thinking because I had a diamond, bullets weren't going to fucking hit me. I think back at that and I'm like, you're such a fucking idiot. And I remember being next to a tow Humvee at one point, walking over to the tow Humvee. And as I walked, I see the ground in front of me, just like dirt popping up. And I don't put two and two together that there's somebody shooting at you right now, you fucking idiot.
Right.
I walk all the way over to the tow Humvee and I'm talking to that kid. He's already ducked down in the vehicle. He's smart. They didn't have his head out. And I get him up there and I get him to fire a round at something. I don't even remember what they were firing at. Probably it was something I should have been firing at. That seemed to be the story of my military career in combat. But I remember being right next to it and having to tell him to fire because his sergeant wouldn't tell him to fire because it wasn't a tank. And he was under some misguided notion that the only thing you could shoot a tow missile at was tanks. And I told him, I said, no, your own manual says hardened targets, bunkers, tanks.
Buildings.
Buildings, yeah. And I think he was firing at a building. I just don't remember where we were.
Well, I think we had some issues with that, with some of our leadership who'd been in the Army a long time and never been anywhere, to actually give us permission. They would prevent us from shooting sometimes. And it was an issue.
See, I never agreed with that. I mean, is it combat or is it mumbly peg?
But I can, the human aspect of it, right? Is like, okay, it's not natural to kill somebody.
No, you don't want to kill innocent people.
Right.
No.
But it's not natural to kill anybody. Right. And so I think there was a little bit of that.
There goes my life as a serial killer. You just ruined it.
Right. I mean, yeah. But there was some of that where like like everybody except that particular leader knew it was okay to shoot, and they were holding us back a little bit, and they got over it quickly because once they were told they were wrong by everybody, they realized they were wrong. But I think it's just that human nature. OIF 1, nobody had been to combat, right?
Yeah.
And
we were all newbies.
We were all newbies.
Yeah.
Right. And some of
we were newbies. They wrote a book about us. We were newbies.
Some of the first sergeants and sergeant majors at the time, they cared a little bit too much about like whether you were in the proper uniform.
Yeah.
And
I got my ass chewed by Sergeant Major Womack about that.
Yeah. We were doing an homage to the old glider, to the old glider infantry guys, and we were doing mohawks, right?
They hated that shit.
Why?
Oh,
we had the fucking Indian paint on. We had the fucking mohawk.
They hated that.
I crossed the border completely bald because I had to get rid of my mohawk. You know,
I don't know why they hated that shit. I was like,
who's gonna see us besides ourselves?
Yeah, if it motivates them, let them do it. I mean, it's not like you're hurting anybody. I think they were just mad because Shaky Jake wasn't there to cut y'all's hair. He didn't get his cut.
Maybe. Yeah.
But no, it was combat goes from serious to completely ridiculous in like a split second because you get guidance.
I'll put this out. It goes from completely ridiculous to serious.
Oh, yeah.
Back to completely ridiculous.
Yeah, because you have all these orders. It's like the order not to shoot until somebody shoots at you. Mm-hmm. And then you get shot at by people and you return fire and you're in position and you continue to return fire and you get a call across the radio. Y'all need to stop firing. And I'm like, why? You know, they're getting shot at.
He's not dead yet.
Yeah. As long as he's still twitching, you know, you're going to put rounds that way. I mean,
yeah.
I guess I was either too naive to be a first sergeant or too smart to be a first sergeant, one or the other, because a lot of the shit that they said we were supposed to do, I was like, we're not going to do that.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense.
Well, I think, you know, at some point you become useless to the Army. And I think it's about the time where you really start to think for yourself.
Yeah, that's usually the point that they don't want you around.
Yeah, that's when it's time for you to go. You know, like you're taught, don't question, just do. But then maturity happens, and you're like, you know what, I'm gonna question a little bit.
I'm gonna think for myself.
Yeah, like this is either not moral, not right. This is fucking crazy retarded. Or, you know, or something like, you know. But you start to like, you know,
combat is retardation 101, and somebody's going to take offense at that, but that's what combat is.
Yeah. You know, and I think one of the biggest, if I had to go back and be like, this is what we could have changed to make it a lot better, was everybody should have known the big picture.
Oh, nobody knew the big picture.
And I feel like it was hidden. Even in my second deployment, like the big picture,
what we were trying to accomplish, what the end goal was.
What's the mission right now? What's the mission in a month from now? And what's the mission overall?
I honestly think they didn't know.
I think you're right. And I think that was a big problem.
And that's why they wouldn't tell you, because they hadn't decided what the fuck they were going to do.
Yeah. And
then Petraeus left and went to, he went to the next step up. I don't remember. They gave him his
CENTCOM,
third star. Yeah. He went that, and he was in charge of everybody that was in Iraq and everybody that was over there. And so I blame him for the whole fucking war. It's his fault. But then he decided he was going to screw some reporter somewhere.
He was in the CIA then, so whatever.
Yeah. And that's what kept him from getting confirmed by Congress. Oops.
I liked Petraeus when he was
I used to love Petraeus because it was funny. The first time that he did a division run, that motherfucker ran.
Oh, fuck. That fucker could run.
And the division run was really a run. Before, I know you remember, it was just an accordion.
Well, that was General Cody, who I also completely respect. I liked General Cody. Not a runner.
Yeah. So you're talking about running at a 12-minute pace.
Yeah.
With the whole division. And we would stand in our position, and everybody that they had picked up before us was running, and they would all go by us, and we'd talk shit about them when they ran by us, throw rocks at them, all kinds of fun shit. If we'd have been monkeys in a zoo, we'd have thrown our own shit at them.
Yeah.
I'm not even lying. That's the infantry guys. But then we get in the run, and all of a sudden you start off and you're running fast as fuck to catch up.
Yep.
And then you catch
like a 6-minute pace to catch up.
Yeah. And then once you catch up, it goes to like a 16-minute pace.
Which is a walk.
Yeah. And you don't realize, and they said, no walking, whatever you do, no walking. And then you fall back, and then you're back at a 6-minute pace, and your freaking legs are like, what in the fuck are you doing, you moron? At least with
because you're not only are you at a 16-minute pace, you're at a half step.
Oh yeah,
because you're trying not to step on the guy in front of you. Like, yeah,
I mean, the infantry units, all the guys are used to running at a fast pace, but it was like they picked up all the pokes before they picked us up. So it was a very slow pace under General Cody. And I'm with you. General Cody was a good leader.
I liked Cody,
but at least with Petraeus, the division runs, you were running the whole fucking time because he was a marathon dude, if I'm not mistaken. You know, he got shot in the chest on Fort Campbell.
Yes, I have heard this.
When he was, I think he was a battalion commander. I would be lying if I said what unit it was. But if I'm not mistaken, the senator from Tennessee who used to be a surgeon is the one that saved his life in Vanderbilt.
Okay.
It was, you remember those ranges where we had to go build our own range for live fires and shit? He was out on one of those, and a soldier went down with his weapon and fired off a round accidentally, shot him in the chest. And I can't remember the guy's name. That he ended up being a senator from Tennessee, but I think he was the guy that operated on him and saved his life. And
well, we were in a battalion where we had Mills Hall.
Yeah,
which Lieutenant Colonel Mills got killed in a training incident. So,
you know, when we start talking about shit like this, everybody that hears it goes, so all they ever did was shoot each other because everything's named, all the training areas. When I was at RI, it was like, how many training areas did we have named after people that during non-combat time we got killed? Right. Oops, sorry.
Yeah.
But we will name this field after you.
Yeah.
So all eternity, you can sit there and wonder why the fuck you're there. I remember one of the first training accident, and this is jumping back from OIF-1. This is back to when I first came in. I think we talked about it earlier. I don't know if we talked about it in there or out here, but I saw my best friend get blown up on that School of Soldier thing. And it was because, and you can look it up, it was the Washington State National Guard that was doing artillery training. And they were literally lined up like, I want to say it was like 1.6 kilometers or 1.6 miles. They had their gun lined up in the wrong direction.
Wow.
And they just happened, they shoot the first round to figure out where the shit is, and they shot it, and it landed on the road that we were on, which was outside the impact area. Wow. It was on the edge of the impact area, and it killed him. And it killed one other guy, and that other guy just took a little bitty piece of shrapnel. But I mean, if it goes in your heart, it goes in your heart. And there were a bunch of other guys that took injuries from that. But we were talking about that's the first time you ever saw somebody get killed. And there was a bunch of us that were on that just got blown off the road. Just the impact just blew us away. No serious injuries or shit. And then like one person from me, a dude got completely, and you always sit there and think, why?
Yeah.
That was my first, because we were talking about the first time you were under fire. I consider that being under fire.
Yeah.
It's a pretty big fire.
Well, friendly fire isn't.
But, there's no such thing. And I remember being in the ditch wondering what the fuck happened.
Right.
And then you see there was one guy, I don't remember his name, but he was up doing first aid on everybody else. And I'm laying over there going, what the fuck is going on? But that's every firefight you ever get in. You see people get shot. You see people in bad positions. And you wonder how you got to the point you're at and you never got shot. You never got hurt. And how this person, why did they end up dying?
Right.
And I mean, I that probably haunts a lot of soldiers, you know.
I was listening to another podcast, and it was a Delta guy talking about.
There's other podcasts besides this?
There is.
No.
It's weird. But it was a Delta guy talking about how everybody that he knew in Delta was always, that got killed, was always like the guy that was married, that was a good father.
Oh, yeah. It's never a single guy.
It was never the single guy that just didn't give a fuck. It was never the piece of shit that was immoral and
that deserved to get blown.
Yeah. So it's weird how shit like that works. What do you do? You know,
I think it's selective memory on a lot of people's fault though. Cause
it could be
because the single guys do get blown up and they do die, but you remember the married guys because before you left and deployed, you remember their wives.
Yeah.
You remember their kids. I remember having a family readiness group meeting before we left and talking to all the wives and saying I would bring everybody home alive. And I knew the odds of that were very slim.
Yeah, it's impossible.
But you tell them that story so that they don't worry when the guys are over there. But you really don't. You don't know what you don't know.
Yeah.
And I used to say that all the time. Apparently, I mean, it's true. You don't know before you go in a combat zone how shitty it's going to be. And you don't know how funny it's going to be.
Right.
Because a lot of the stuff that happens, people don't understand. It's funny as fuck.
Sometimes it's simultaneously shitty and
at
funny.
The same fucking time. I'm taking a shit, firing at stuff, and I look back on it now and I think it's hilarious.
Yeah.
But at that time, all I could think about was, here's how I'm going to die.
Yeah.
And I remember I was thinking, who's going to find me and start the story? Because that matters a lot too. Because we had people that would have come up with crazy stories. And the rumor mill, as soon as it starts, that first story is the one that sticks.
Well, it progressively gets worse.
Oh, God, yeah. He was
better. It depends how you look at it.
He was getting screwed by 2 Iraqi military guys when they decided he wasn't worth a shit and they shot him.
Hey, were you the first sergeant when the clue and the grenades got thrown in the burn pit?
Yes.
Oh, let's talk about this.
God. We, like morons, they told us to collect all the grenades. And I never did understand that, but we collected everybody's grenades. And like idiots, we put them in an MRE box.
Right.
I remember that. We put the grenades in an MRE box. And somebody, I don't remember who it was.
And the clue was in a trash bag to waterproof it.
Because we're morons.
Right.
You know?
And this is in the back of a 5-ton, if I remember right. And then there's all kinds of MRE trash because we all
and we're trying to burn the shit to get rid of it.
So somebody's like, clean out the trash in the back of the 5-ton.
I think it was Garino that came to me to tell me that there's a grenade in that burn pit. And I'm like, what? He said, there's a grenade in the burn pit. And I don't remember. You might remember, but I don't remember who.
I don't either.
Actually.
It was nobody's fault.
Oh, and it was more on command because we weren't smart enough to write in big green letters, these are fucking grenades, you stupid assholes. Don't throw them in the fire.
Right. And the clue was in a trash bag already. Yeah. So somebody's just like, oh, here's a trash bag. Throw it in the fucking fire.
Well, but when you weren't in combat, you know, you stored shit in those things because you knew they weren't going to get thrown in a burn pit.
Right.
But we didn't learn until the first time that we were dumb enough to do it that grenades don't live very well in fire. And clues have to be put on a statement of charges.
So a clue for the listeners is a command launch unit for a Javelin missile. It probably cost a couple $100,000. I would imagine.
Yeah. It was expensive because you can use it with more than one Javelin. So
that you can use it as a standalone thermal sight, and it's
they were cool to look through.
Yeah, they were. Cool.
I think that's how they found the donkey that was getting screwed at night when we were on some convoy was through a clue.
So the last reunion, I was talking to Colonel Carlson, and he even texted me this.
He's a great guy.
Yeah, but I was on a sniper OP, and I'm watching a dude fuck this sheep or donkey. I don't remember what it was. Right, I'm watching this, and I call up to the talk. I'm like, permission to shoot this motherfucker. And they're like, no. I said, well, can I shoot the donkey?
The donkey, save it.
Right.
Save its dignity a little bit.
Like if I imagine you're fucking a donkey and the donkey's head explodes. Like that would be traumatic. And that was the effect I was hoping for, right?
It might stop you from fucking donkeys.
Right.
Maybe.
Right. And so I call up to the talk and I ask permission to shoot this fucking donkey, right? And 20 years later, Colonel Carlson messages me and he's like, and leave the donkeys out of it or something, right? Like I thought that was fucking hilarious, right? He still remembers it. So that's
oh god,
yeah.
It's the you remember the bad things that happen, but you rejoice about the funny things that happen. I mean, we all have baggage that we're carrying.
Oh yeah,
and the baggage is always going to be there, but the fun. I say fun times you had in combat, and a lot of people don't understand that. That's some of the best stories.
Right.
Is like, I'm sitting up there with the company commander, and I'm pretty sure it was Green. I said, we got a grenade in the burn pit. I'm like, what? Yeah, it's in the burn pit, and we can't get it out. And I'm like, fuck me.
I think it was more than one.
Yeah. Oh, it was one. But you have no way to explain that to the command sergeant major or the battalion commander without them relieving you on the spot. We're down here burning grenades
and clues.
Yeah, but we don't want them.
Grenades are cheap. Clues are expensive. I don't know what you're more pissed off about, but
I'm seeing. As of 2021, the clue cost $250,000.
Yeah, we knew it was expensive, but damn it, we threw it in the burn pit anyway. Yeah. I think it was thrown in the burn pit because somebody didn't want to carry that motherfucker more than it was anything else.
They were bulky.
Oh God, I remember everybody was happy when we went from. I was in the Army when we had the 90 millimeter cordless rifle.
Yeah. And
I used to be an RTO / 90 millimeter cordless rifleman. So I've got an M16 across my chest, a 90 millimeter across my back. And the only thing that's holding it up from hitting the ground is the Prick 77 I was carrying. And I was like, this has got to be the shittiest job I have ever seen. And then we went to Dragons. I was like, Dragons, great. But then when you start carrying that thing grabs every tree, everything possible. And it's not just the one dragon. Now you've got a sight that you fucking have to carry with it.
Yeah.
And then they were talking about, the javelins are going to be great. They're going to replace the dragon. They're going to be so easy. And then they bring the clue in, and it's a big piece of shit that you have to carry along with the javelin.
Yeah. And then the AT4s, right? Like to carry them in combat, you can put them across your ruck this way, but then you can't get through any fucking doorway.
Oh yeah, boop, and then you finally turn sideways.
So you put them lengthwise on your rucksack, right? But then you can't take a knee. Like,
there's always something.
That fucking AT4 sucked too.
I know everybody was always in a hurry whether it was dragon gunners or whatever, to fire that shit.
Yeah.
Because that way they didn't have to carry it
Fuck
anymore.
yeah.
Because they were fire and forget.
Yeah.
You know.
Except when battalion comes down and asks for all the empty fucking.
Oh yeah, that's
You remember that?
stupid. That's the stupidest shit I've ever
We're
heard.
in combat and they ask for the empty AT4s and grenade pins.
Why are we going to carry that shit?
Like, what the fuck, sir? Write that shit off. It was a combat fucking usage.
We used it.
Jesus Christ.
It's gone. I think most of that happened under our first battalion commander. I don't think it happened under the second battalion commander, Colonel Carlson, who we were
he knew
about
better.
earlier.
Yeah.
Because I think he understood combat better than the other guys.
He lived combat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He seemed happier when we were over there than any other time.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the first one we had, I think you said it earlier, he was working for the people above him.
Yeah.
Whereas
I'll put this out. This is my podcast. I got nothing to lose and I'm not cancelable. So fuck you. Lieutenant Colonel Palakas, you sucked balls.
Yes.
You were the worst battalion commander I've ever had, ever. And you got replaced by a guy who was the best lieutenant colonel I've ever had.
I agree.
So thank you for leaving early and sucking at your job. We appreciate your shittiness. So you got the fuck out of our unit. I'll say that. And this is coming from a E4/E5/E4. So,
you know, when soldiers know how fucked the battalion commander is, he's fucked up.
Oh, he's fucked up. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
First sergeants know when they're fucked up and they know when they're good.
I challenge Lieutenant Colonel Palakas to name 5 soldiers in his battalion when he was a battalion commander today. If you can name 5 people who were in your battalion.
You have to specify 5 people that did not work in battalion headquarters.
Yes. Yeah. At company level. If you can name 5.
Name 5 people that were in Bravo Company 3rd to the 3.
I would be fucking surprised. But I guarantee you know everybody's name that worked above you in every position you've ever had.
And you can't name 5 soldiers below the rank of staff sergeant, I would say. I'd say you couldn't name staff sergeant.
I would say E7.
Yeah.
I bet he didn't know a fucking single E7.
He might have known maybe 1.
That he remembers today?
No, because he's got to whatever position. I don't know what rank he was when he retired. I honestly don't.
I'm hoping it was fucking captain.
Look that up.
I don't know his first name.
Just start with Palakas.
Yeah.
I don't even know how to spell his name.
Yeah, I don't either. Lieutenant Colonel Palakas.
Yeah. If you start at that point, I would say he probably retired as a colonel. I wouldn't think he ever made general. I would really hope he never made.
Well, he was good at kissing ass. So
yeah. So that
if he did, it was in the Pentagon or some bullshit. It was no.
Any idea how to spell his name?
Yeah, it starts with a P. What the fuck else do you need from us?
Palakas.
We're fucking grunts. We can't spell our own goddamn.
So is he. He's just as bad of a speller.
Why do you think grunts wear name tags? It's so when they ask them to fill out paperwork, they can look down to figure out what their name is, and then they can ask the buddy behind them what their first name is. That's the only way they fucking know. I think it was like PELEAKUS or something like that.
No idea.
But I guarantee his name is on Wikipedia for being battalion commander for the initial invasion.
Yeah, for 327 battalion commander. He's probably up there somewhere.
You could probably find a list of all the 327 battalion commanders, 3rd of the 327 battalion commanders, and he would be on that list. You remember 1st to 14th used to have pictures of every battalion commander they'd ever had, and they had a couple that got shot in combat during Civil War.
Right.
And they didn't have pictures of them, so they put their bodies up and propped their eyes open with toothpicks.
Really?
So that the first time I was in Hawaii, I ended up going 1st to the 14th. And you look at this wall, they've got every battalion commander they've ever had, pictures of them. And then you get to these in the Civil War that have their eyes propped open with toothpicks so that they could take pictures because they never took a picture before. Now that's some serious photography there. I want to take a picture so bad that I'm gonna let his stinky body sit there.
Yeah.
Prop his eyes open with toothpicks so that I can take a picture of him. But yeah, at that time, I can't say now. At that time, 1st to 14th, had on their wall pictures of every battalion commander that they had since they had been initially formed.
Well, I think 327 did as well.
This is what I know about 327. I'm going to tell you a story about 2nd to 327th. When I was in there, we had a battalion commander by the name of...
Let's pause this real quick. So we're back talking about fucked up battalion commanders. Let's talk about fucked up E4s going for their promotion boards. So I think I went to the promotion board at Alkindi.
Oh, but that was fun.
So it had to be you that was on the promotion board, I would imagine.
Oh, yeah.
So one of the questions I got asked was, if you were sergeant major for a day, what would you do? And I said, retire. Because you retire at the highest rank achieved.
That's a good answer.
And then after that, they changed it to, if you were sergeant major for a day, what would you change?
I changed the retirement requirements so I could get out.
But do you remember that or not?
I remember the promotion board shit because I was like, why are we even doing a promotions thing in a combat zone? Why aren't we just saying, okay,
right,
bless you, you've done enough. If you see fit to send somebody to a promotion board in a combat zone, I'm pretty sure you can vouch for the fact that they know what the fuck they're doing.
Right.
But that was never the way of the Army, because that sounds real easy and makes a lot of common sense. No, we would never do that. That particular promotion board, I do not remember, but I remember getting some fucked up answers. I remember when we used to have them at the 101st, they used to make you sing the fucking division song when you came in.
I would have fucked that up.
For promotion.
I would have fucked that up.
And if you couldn't sing the words to the division song, they literally took points off of your freaking assault right now through the sky. But you know that bullshit. Mm-hmm. But they took points away from you on the promotion board. And I thought that was stupid.
Yeah.
But
so I thought, at least by giving that answer, that I'm sure you guys laughed about it. Somebody had to, but it was not portrayed to me that it was perceived well when I answered it that way. And I thought that was a brilliant answer.
I think it's a great answer. You know me, I would think it was a great answer and I would have laughed about it. But
well, you were my audience, so I was probably catering to you a little bit. But
hell, I would have already marked off on your promotion anyway. I got into a thing I won't say his name, but another first sergeant about a soldier that I decided needed to go to the promotion board, and he didn't think needed to be promoted. And I said, but he belongs to me, doesn't belong to you. I'm the one that's got to deal with any consequences that come up. And he goes, well, I'm going to give him 0 points. And I said, well, that's fine, because every soldier of yours that comes up, I will give 0 points to from now until eternity. And the sergeant major had to step in and be the grown-up, because neither one of us were grown-up. Because he really wanted to give this guy 0 promotion points because he didn't want him from the board. Because, they average the score from all the board members, and sergeant major doesn't fill out a sheet. He's not a voting member of the board.
I did not know that.
No, he runs the board, but whoever's in the middle and running the board, they don't keep a promotion worksheet. Usually, at least that's the way Sergeant Major Woodhams ran them, and
that's probably fair, I guess.
Well, it makes sense because if you're gonna. You don't want the sergeant major's opinion to count more than everybody.
You don't want it to weigh on everybody else.
Oh yeah,
right.
You don't want other people to think that they have to give this many points because the sergeant major gave
right.
So when you have a bunch of first sergeants trying to see whose dick's the biggest, that's even worse. But my opinion of promotion boards and soldiers that came before promotion boards, no matter where it was the same thing. If it's made it past the platoon sergeant and it's made it past the first sergeant and they've made it to the battalion promotion board, I'm going to give them max points. I don't care what their answers are to the questions, because if it made it past that, then that first sergeant's already telling me that guy's ready for, because I try to tell people.
So say me as an E5, I recommend an E4 for promotion.
I would bring you in, I would talk to you, and I wouldn't ask you if he was ready to be a team leader. I would ask you, does he have the potential to be a team leader? Because you're supposed to promote on not knowledge that they have now, but do they have the ability to absorb the knowledge once they get promoted? Not they're already ready to fully do that job, because nobody, when they get promoted, knows everything for the next job they're going to, next rank they're going to. So I would have brought you in and said, does he know this? Is there anything that's going to pop up that I need to know of before he goes? That's probably what I would ask you. But I never doubted a leader when they came to me and told me that so-and-so needs to go to the promotion board, because I honestly, I know it's not true 100% of the time, but I honestly believe that if he was a shitbag, even if he was your friend, you would not recommend him for promotion.
Yeah, I think that's true.
And I think most platoon sergeants, whether or not, if they're infantry platoon sergeants, because I won't talk about another MOS, but if they're infantry platoon sergeants, they don't want somebody to be promoted that's going to cause a goat fuck somewhere down the line. So they're going to tell you he's got the potential to be a squad leader. He's got the potential to be, some of them, they'd say, this guy's ready to take your job. And I'd be like, okay, we'll put him in for promotion. He can take my job, I'll go home. But seriously, the only ones that I ever questioned for promotion is a guy that had any kind of problems in that particular unit, because I knew I was going to have to answer to the sergeant major as to why now, when he was as they would think, a shitbag at this point, why is he good enough now to be promoted? So I would just get the answers from you as a team leader as to why. But I was never one to say so-and-so doesn't need to be promoted. So-and-so, because it's not me.
So I feel like rank was guarded.
It was in certain ways, because there are people that make staff sergeant that are scared. Like what you and I were talking about, a staff sergeant that we both know that was over there with us. I don't think he would have ever recommended anybody for promotion, because he was scared they'd be smarter than he was. And they would take his job. So that's always the thing. The people that, it's like EIBs and it's like Ranger tabs. There are people that are Ranger instructors that are like, okay, this is what the standard is. If they meet the standard, I'm going to pass them. I'm going to pass them on patrols. They're going to move forward.
And then you have badge protectors.
And then you have the badge protectors, the ones that say, well, it was back in the 1800s when I took my EIB, it was so much fucking harder. You know, we had to march 12 miles uphill both ways. And those guys don't want people
to outshine
them.
Yep.
And that's another thing. As a leader, you have to be willing to understand. I mean, I tell people every time somebody asks me about combat or my time in the service, I tell them the same thing every time. I was never a hero. I never was. But I worked and had the pleasure of having some of the biggest heroes I know work underneath me.
Yeah, I agree with that. Not only that, but like the potential, like you knew like the people you worked with, you knew who would, when the time arose, would step up to the plate.
Oh yeah.
Like you knew who they were. Whether that opportunity ever came or not was another story. But you knew who they were for the most part.
Yeah, but as a first sergeant, I don't necessarily know that because,
Yeah.
I talk to platoon sergeants, I talk to squad leaders, and I talk to the occasional team leader, and then I talk to privates on their own just to ask them, what do you think's fucked up? And
to get the environment.
But sometimes you can't get privates to give you an answer because they're afraid that you really don't want the truth. And not all people that are in a leadership position want the truth. They want you to whitewash it for them and say, it's all freaking unicorns and rainbows.
So one of my NCOERs on a positive bullet was Sergeant Jansen speaks candidly and openly, regardless of audience or outcome.
Yeah, see, I think I had something to that extent. That means you're a pain in everybody's ass.
But you're not wrong.
But you're not wrong. That's exactly what it means. Yeah. Oh God, that's a good bullet. But anybody that's got that bullet, they're not trying to protect their job, that they're taking care of.
Well, let me give you the story of why I got that bullet.
Okay, this ought to be good.
So I was the sniper acting section leader. I was an E5, but I was in an area where we only had one sniper team. The other sniper team is in a different area. So I was the acting section leader. So I'd sit in on all of the battalion. This is on my second deployment. I would sit in on all of the battalion briefings.
Yeah.
Like the mission briefs, right? Whatever. And so we had a captain at that point that wanted the snipers to set up across the street. We were going to essentially break into a house and raid the house, right?
Okay.
Well, his idea was he wanted the snipers to shoot the lock off the gate.
What the fuck?
That is exactly my reaction. I said, what the fuck? Right? That is exactly what I said. In the battalion, I'm an E5. I'm the lowest.
Hey, bolt cutters, you stupid moron.
I'm the lowest ranking guy in this battalion brief. And this captain's like, well, if we get the snipers attached to us, they can shoot the padlock and then we'll go in. And I'm like, that's a
misuse of resources.
I said, that's a retarded idea, and he's like, why can your snipers not hit the padlock? I'm like, yeah, we can hit the padlock. I said, but do you know that a 7.62 round will unlock the padlock?
Not necessarily.
Not necessarily.
No.
I said, he's like, well, do you have any better ideas, Sergeant Jansen?
Boat.
And I said, yeah. I said, those new fancy bumpers we got on the Humvee?
Oh,
I said, how about you just drive right fucking into the gate and fucking open it, and then you can flow right in,
and you pissed a captain off.
I pissed a captain off.
Yeah.
But I impressed the fuck out of a lieutenant colonel at that point. So I won. And then that's what earned me that bullet point.
That's a good bullet point to have. Because every time you read it,
it makes me smile.
It makes you happy.
Yeah. So, but yeah, so when I got to the sniper section, right? Like in a sniper section, there's not necessarily, you have to have E3s, E4s. Once you're an E5, you're a sniper team leader. E6 is usually a sniper section leader. So I had 2 E4s.
Yeah.
And the first opportunity for a promotion board, they're promote them.
Oh yeah.
And I got a lot of pushback as a acting section leader to send these guys to the board.
Was it because they didn't want to lose the snipers and have to send other people to get qualified, or was it just because they didn't know?
They could be E5s and not leave the sniper section.
So why was the pushback?
Exactly. Both the guys ended up going to the board and got promoted.
Sometimes I think that people that do shit like that think that it's going to cost them money because somebody gets promoted.
Right. Like I couldn't fathom it. Like and both the guys turned out to be good soldiers and like
good leaders.
Good leaders. Yeah. Like one became an air assault instructor, one became an officer.
Oh God.
You know,
so what you flunked on that one?
Yeah, I flunked on that one probably.
Okay.
Yeah. But he's a pogue officer, so it's fine.
Oh well, okay. Yeah. He might be all right. At least he was smart enough to be a pogue and didn't volunteer for the infantry.
Right.
Like some idiots I know. I don't know what it is that makes people think that at their level, because we're talking sergeant and staff sergeant promotions, because that's the boards we're talking about.
Yeah.
What makes them think that they know so much about everybody that's below them that they can make that specific thing to say, well, they're not, that those two shouldn't be promoted. Now, I know that all it takes is sometimes for you to get smart alecky with a different first sergeant from me. Because if you got smart alecky with me, you do push-ups, but I'd laugh about it in my office later.
I knew,
because I'm not, I know I know outside of that one remark what kind of person you are.
But not only that, but like we knew even if we pissed you off on the outside, we were making you laugh on the inside. Like we knew this about you, because that's the
oh well.
When we saw ass chewings from you, we all laughed because you were fucking funny about it.
I would hear people laughing. It's hard to keep a straight face from trying to chew his ass. And
we were trying to get you to laugh while you were fucking pissed. It was so many times. You never broke though.
No, because I tried to make it back to my office.
I know. I know.
I mean, I took my job seriously. I really did. But like we talked about, anytime you're a leader in the Army, there's a certain amount of showmanship that has to go with it. Yeah. You have to show
like
certain things.
Like I always worked for the guys below me, right? Like I didn't give a fuck about promotions. That's why, like, I turned down. Like I got recommended for the E6 board.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to promote myself out of the sniper section. One, I know I'm getting the fuck out of the Army when we get back from the second deployment. I don't want to go to I want to be a sniper. That's what I want to do. Like I don't give a fuck. And then I end up getting demoted and becoming an E4. But that's a whole other story. But yeah, you know, like yeah, I don't know. I forget where I was going with that, but you know, the
TBI is a bitch.
It is. You know, but you know, like who gives a shit about rank? I mean, to me, like whatever. Like you had to put I guess my point was I worked for the guys below me, but I had to put on a show for the guys above me.
Exactly.
Right? Like you have to. You can't totally disregard the people above you. You have to put on that show a little bit.
If you look at the job description for any non-commissioned officer, the first sentence is always health, welfare, morale, safety of those people that are underneath you.
Yeah.
Now, if the health, welfare, and morale and safety of those people contradicts with the people above you, you have to decide.
Yeah.
Are you going to take care of your soldiers like you're supposed to?
Right.
Or are you going to suck these people's ass who don't give a shit?
Well, you're doing two things. Like if you decide, okay, I'm going to suck some ass here, well, then you're losing the respect of the guys
of every soldier you have underneath.
And then what the fuck good is that? Like it like, I mean, when the ultimate mission at the time was to be a warfighter, I didn't give a fuck about anything garrison. I just did not care.
See, that's a good attitude to have. But you have to remember a lot of those guys that were above you or guys that wouldn't recommend those guys for promotion were guys that spent the first 6 to 10 years of their time in the Army,
peacetime,
seeing only the guys that sucked up to the higher leaders get promoted.
Yeah.
And that happens more than you would. Well, have formerly been in the infantry, you understand that it happens all the fucking time.
Yeah.
But I don't understand why people feel like we talked about, badge protectors, EIB protectors.
I mean, uphold the standard.
Yeah. And if they meet the standard, it's not your job to decide, well, I don't think they have the potential to meet the standard at the next level. Your job is to take the recommendations of the people underneath you and trust that they know what they're doing.
Right.
Because if I'd have sat there and every time a platoon sergeant said, so-and-so is going to be recommended for what board, if I'd have said, I don't think he needs to be promoted, I mean, that's a dick move.
Yeah.
I mean, because I don't interact with you on a daily basis.
Right.
Like your platoon sergeant interacts with
not only that, but like, look at the big picture of things, right? Like we were in the middle of, OIF 1.
Mm-hmm.
Like we didn't know it was going to last 20 fucking years.
Yeah. We thought we were going to be it, and that was it.
But you might be holding somebody back that has the potential to like, there's Medal of Honor recipients, right?
Oh yeah.
Like, what if you would have been the asshole to fucking not recommend somebody that had not just a Medal of Honor, but like, let people give people the opportunity to progress,
to shine. Yeah.
What if you're the asshole that says, I don't recommend this guy getting promoted. And so 6 months later, he gets the fuck out of the Army instead of re-enlists.
Exactly.
Right? Like, what the fuck good does that do? Like
I used to talk to all the kids that I had that were up for re-enlistment, and I refused to ask or to tell soldiers, re-enlist because the Army is a great fucking place. You already know what the Army is. You've already been in it. My thing was always, what the Army's got to offer, but if you're going to get out, already have a plan.
Yeah.
If you don't have a plan, then you're wasting your time getting out. I mean,
right.
Because you're going to start somewhere making less money than you are now, and then you're going to turn around and end up coming back in the military anyway. So if you're planning to get out, because you start a year, 18 months out, you start talking to these kids. You're like, make a plan and decide whether you're going to stay, whether you're going to go. I was never one to tell somebody, you need to re-enlist because.
Right.
Because there was never, I guess at one time there's problems in some units to get people to re-enlist to meet quotas, but we never had that problem because we had a good battalion. Yeah. I've been in units where I don't care how much money you'd put in front of people, they would never have re-enlisted to stay under whoever it was. Company. They would re-enlist to go to bumfuck Egypt instead of staying under the people they were under. But a lot of the promotion bullshit always gets me. The lower level promotions. I know the DA promotions, it's they're looking at what did you do as a sergeant first class before you get promoted as a first sergeant? Do you have any bad ticks on your record? And sergeant majors more than that. I had a kid that worked for me in Hawaii that was a member of the group that we were talking about. I went to the birthday party for. He made sergeant major in 12 years.
That's amazing.
Yeah. He ended up going, I think he did 4 or 5 tours over there and was such a stud that, 12 years later, he was below zone sergeant major pick. And shit, I was 11 years in before I made sergeant first class. So
I got out in 10 years as an E4. So, shit happens, right? But
I understand why at Department of the Army level, you don't have anybody that you can honestly trust
right
for your vision of that person. So you have to go straight off of what's on the paper. I understand that. But first sergeant or battalion sergeant major or below, you can find out about that person. You can go talk to their platoon sergeant, you can talk to their squad leader, you can talk to their team leader before the board comes up. It's not like you don't know the names of the people that are coming in front of you before the board comes up. And if you have doubts about somebody, you can go ask.
Yeah.
It's like we talk about, people protect the rank for no fucking reason. doesn't cost them anything. And there's only two things that'll happen to you if you get promoted. You will either excel or find out that's the wall you need to be at.
Yeah.
And if you excel, then you start looking at that individual for the next step.
Right. And some people are not meant to be first sergeants or sergeant majors.
Oh, I was never meant to be a sergeant major. I don't have the political.
Exactly.
Right? Because if I told a battalion commander that's the stupidest fucking thing I ever saw as a sergeant major, I wouldn't hold that job for long.
Right.
So to a certain extent, you have to have a lot more tact than I have.
Yeah.
And there are certain.
But you also, with tact comes, you have to like part from what you truly believe in sometimes.
Yeah.
You know, and, you know, like some.
It's all that AUSA and Army, all that money that you ask privates that are living paycheck to paycheck to put in to bullshit so that somebody at some level can look, so some battalion commander can look good to the brigade commander so that he'll get a good OER.
Yeah.
Whereas it doesn't.
And speaking of OERs, why is it an OER bullet point to change an acronym? Fuck you. Leave them alone. Like, we already know the acronyms. Don't change them. Like, PLDC can be PLDC. BNOC can be BNOC, God damn it. We don't need to give some goddamn asshole a fucking OER bullet point because they changed the name of something. Fuck you. Fuck you.
For bullet points for that, it should just be good idea fair.
Yes.
And put it on there.
Yeah.
Because some people are going to think what he did was a great idea, but most people are going to say, I just learned the other fucking acronyms.
Right.
I don't want to learn a new one. But like we talked about before, people that come into a job and start making changes the day they show up are really fucking themselves.
Yeah, they really are.
Because when the soldiers see that, soldiers see when a new lieutenant comes in and he wants to change the platoon SOP, and you're like, this dude's a fucking idiot. We've been doing this shit for however long we've been doing it.
Yeah.
And I always found I was taught by my first ever platoon sergeant, a guy by the name of Larry L. Duty, who was a total dick as a platoon sergeant. But I was taught by him that the best thing to do when you took over a job was to pretend you didn't have a job for 60 days.
Yeah.
And to ask why. Because a lot of times when a soldier asks why, what do they tell you?
Because it's always been done
It's always been that way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or
sometimes changes are needed.
Yes.
Sometimes.
But you need to find out the reason that things are the way they are before you start changing them. I mean, I don't understand a lot of times. I mean, I sit back and I think, did I fuck up by doing this, that, or the other 30 some years ago? You know, because I still think about the guys that worked for me. I still think about, did I put them in a position to excel not only in the Army, but in life itself?
Yeah.
Because those are things I worry about, because there was a point as first sergeant that I started to, I told you my son had passed. I started to get soldiers that were born the same year he was. And I started to think,
right,
if this was my son, what would I tell him?
Yeah.
Not if this is my private, what I would tell him.
Right.
And I think it changed some of the stuff that I said to soldiers. It changed the amount of time that I actually went down and talked to soldiers. But it didn't change my overall personality. I've always been an asshole. I mean, you know,
but I mean,
at least I'm consistent.
Yeah. But tough love is still love.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Like it really is. You know, I raised my kids to, they're either going to kill me in my sleep or they're going to respect me when they're older. One of the two, right? Like, so
my stepson's that way. When I got married to one of my exes. I think it's third, but don't hold me to that. And it's not on the internet, so don't look that. I told him a lot of shit as he was growing up. I said, and I know you're not listening to me now.
Right.
I said, but when you get older, I want you to look back on this stuff and kind of use it as a base.
Right.
And after he'd been in the Army for 8 years and gotten out, he said, as I got older, you got smarter. I said, I never got any smarter. Right. I said, you just got the wisdom that's needed over time to figure out.
Yeah.
And I always hoped that guys wouldn't make the mistakes I made, but you can't stop people from making mistakes.
No, you can't.
You can't, whether they're your kids, whether they work for you.
The most I've ever learned is through failure, right?
Oh God, yes.
And so you have to let your kids fail as hard as it is to watch. Sometimes you got to let them fail and figure it out.
And that's the one thing that the Army used to do. They didn't let you fail. If you failed, you were considered a failure. They didn't let you back off of that failure, regroup yourself and rebuild.
Well, I think the Army used to be better at it, actually. Well, because I think now it's immediately it goes to paperwork and it affects the career, right?
We see that always depends on leadership, because good leadership, I don't need the paper to fix what's wrong.
No.
I need, I may steal your time. I may find another way. I might make you research something. I might say, go look at this manual and you tell me what it says,
right.
Because you're telling me that doesn't sound right to me. I'd say, well, okay, let's learn together. You go research right. and come back. But it's the people that, like we talked about, are worried about you taking their positions.
Yeah. That
are looking for a reason to make you fail.
Right.
And I've dealt with people like that before, but I was lucky that I had a lot of leaders that were willing. When I was a sergeant, I had a brand new sergeant in the 101st. I had a first sergeant that was willing to sit down with me and tell me the things that he learned about leadership when he was in Vietnam.
Wow.
And tell me about stuff that doesn't matter. He was the first sergeant I ever had that reminded me of me when I was a first sergeant, because he did not give a rat's ass. He didn't give a fuck. His thing was he was going to teach people how to fight, and he didn't know when the next war was coming up. I mean, he right. retired way back in the mid 80s, I'm pretty sure. But he said, I'm going to teach them how to fight. I'm going to teach them how to do their job, and I'm going to teach them how to be a leader. And that's all I can do.
Yeah.
But then you get those leaders that, well, I don't even call them leaders, but you get those NCOs that all they care about is, how does the platoon sergeant see me as a squad leader?
Yeah.
And you come and ask them questions, or you show them something, and they don't want to take what you showed them and present it as your idea to anybody else. They're going to steal your idea right. and present it because they're worried about that next promotion.
See, and when an NCO does it, like, you can kind of get past it. But when you have a lieutenant colonel that's doing it,
oh God,
the whole goddamn battalion knows Lieutenant Colonel Plakas. We fucking know, and we don't appreciate it. Fuck you.
You're going to get comments from Sergeant Major Woodhams on this.
I don't care. I will respect his comments because I respected him.
I loved him. I really did.
But yeah, Lieutenant Colonel Plakas, like, there's a reason when I re-enlisted that I had a brigade commander re-enlist me
instead of him.
And as an E4, I recognized how much of a piece of shit you are. I'm just gonna throw that out there. I hope you hear this.
I don't know if this is the gospel or not, but I think this is what Sergeant Major Woodhams told me when he went to Sergeant Major's Academy. He was the only 11 Bravo that was coming from 11 Bravo to be a 00 Zulu that was not Ranger qualified.
Oh, really?
He was it. I mean, because now people go, okay, is he Ranger qualified?
Right.
Has he done time as an instructor? Has he done this? Has he done that? You know, that's what they look at. They don't look at, you know, a lot of other shit. In my opinion, they should.
Right.
We really don't have time for that. But that's why I always respected Sergeant Major Woodhams, because you could always sit down with him if you had an issue with something.
Right.
And he would tell you why we were doing what we were doing. And even at that point, if I didn't like it, I respected the fact that he would sit down.
And that's true for all lower enlisted NCOs. If we know the why.
That's always
just tell us the motherfucking why.
They never tell you. I mean, it's
just tell us the fucking why. Like, give us the big picture. Tell us the why. And and God damn it, we'll fight for you.
It's like when privates say why, and you say, because I told you so, that's why.
Yeah.
But that's like your kids, because I told you so.
Yeah.
Now, when your kids get older, some things you explain to them, and some of them you just say, just do it because I told you to. But my thing was, if you're in the middle of something like
I understand
a training thing or combat for that,
right? And
you tell somebody to do something, they should do it.
Yeah, absolutely.
But we're talking a peacetime training environment,
or before we go into combat.
Oh, tell them the why.
Give us the why. Give us what's the objective? Why are we risking our life to go across the street and fight this fucking building? Just give us the why.
And the problem with that is, like I said, a lot of times the people above you don't know what the why is either.
Yeah.
You know, it's not like, if you think about it, it's not like battalion sergeant majors sit in the division op order. You know,
right.
They honestly might not necessarily know. They know what the battalion's mission is.
Yeah.
They don't know what the overall mission is. They probably know the brigade.
But I think the Army needs to be better at that. If the Army was better at that, you'd have better.
I agree with that. And I think if you answered the why to the privates, the morale would be a lot higher.
It would be.
And
like if me as a private land in a helicopter after an air assault and I'm digging a fighting position and you tell me to move 20 fucking meters that way and you can't tell me the why.
Because I'm really pissed off. Yeah.
Because then you should ask why. And if you don't know the why, there's a fucking problem. Like, give us the fucking why.
Honestly, a lot of times as a first sergeant, you don't know the why.
Yeah.
I mean, but you go off what your company commander says, and you try your best to support your company commander the best you can until he shows you that.
But I think everybody in the chain of command should be informed of the why.
I think the most important thing when you get an op order that you should think about, if you were say you're sitting in a division op order, we're about to go into a battle, do whatever, and they give you this mission to do whatever. Does it pass the common sense test?
Right.
Is it feasible?
It can be as simple as we need to stop the enemy from doing this.
Yeah, our first briefing was we need to stop them from taking these bridges. Right. We need to hold these bridges. That was the first.
But that's all the why the private needs.
Yeah, that's all he needs.
That's all he needs.
But for the majority of the war, did we know why? No.
Yeah.
I mean, and you can see after 20 years, I think the worst people to have in a chain of command are the ones that have political ambitions, because they don't want to hurt anybody's feelings.
Yep. It's the yes men that don't care about the why.
Yeah.
They're just saying, Roger that.
Whatever you say, I'm going to do my best to get it done. Don't care how many people die. Don't care, what the people below me think about it. I'm going to do it because when I retire, I want to be whatever, work as a senator or whatever.
But like we do risky shit.
Bill Frisk I think that's the guy that saved Petraeus' life. Senator Bill Frisk. That's TBI for you people. 3 hours later, I figured out who it was.
You know, like imagine though, we do risky things in the infantry.
Oh yeah,
right?
you don't have a choice.
You don't have a choice.
Training.
That's our fucking that's our fucking job, right? But you tell a private to do something, and he just thinks, maybe this guy's just fucking with me. Or he has a vague understanding of the why, how much more he would fight for that.
Oh, yeah.
Just a little bit of why. Give him the why. That's like my major critique. I got a story for you.
Okay.
I was second deployment.
Okay.
We one of our IED had to call in a medevac. And this was the height of you had to have your iPro, your fucking all this bullshit, right?
Okay.
The guy that was injured, I took my iPro off, put it on him because I knew the helicopter's going to land. It's going to be dusty as fuck, right?
Yeah.
Get him on the bird. A little bit later, the battalion commander shows up. The first thing he says to me, Sergeant Jansen, where the fuck is your iPro? I replied with, I think he'll be okay, sir. You know, like where's the fucking priority?
Well, I mean, sometimes. How many times have you had a leader come up to you, and that's the first thing that they say about you before they've talked to you or anything is they point out a uniform violation.
Right.
They don't ask you what the training is. What are your guys doing today? What issues have you seen as a leader with the training? The first thing they say is, your uniform's fucked up or that button's unbuttoned.
Which in garrison, I can kind of understand, right? Discipline.
Oh, yeah.
Right? In combat?
It should be, the first question should be, how are all your people?
Right. What can I do for you?
Yeah.
Yes.
But you don't get that a lot of times.
Yeah. That was the exact moment that I knew I'm getting the fuck out of the Army.
Oh, yeah.
Sergeant Jansen, where's your iPro? Said, hey, you're going to ETS. That's what he told me. You're going to ETS.
Well, that's just, I mean, he was probably kin to Palakas. You never know.
Yeah.
Because some people care about how shit looks, and some people care about how shit works.
Yeah.
And there's a big difference in that. I mean, it's like standing in a parade, the division parade, as opposed to being in a firefight. Two totally different people excel at those two things.
Right.
Because, I mean.
So did you watch the 250 Army birthday parade?
No, I did not.
So if you watched it, the most fucked up marching
I heard that.
In that parade were the Special Forces units.
Because they didn't give a shit. That's why. They're like, who's going to tell us?
They were the most not in step, fucking ate up looking. They were fucking Air Force-ish.
They were probably like, there's nobody out there that's going to tell me I have to do this. I'll tell you a quick story. I had, when I was a Ranger instructor, I don't remember which time, we had a guy that was rehabbing. He was in Delta, he got hurt, messed up his leg or something. So if they're Ranger qualified and they're rehabbing, they put them working at RTB because that's a non-stress job where they can, regain all their shit and get ready. They told him that his percentage of goes on patrols was too low, that he needed to give more goes to certain Ranger students. He went 3 cycles in a row and didn't give a single go. 3 freaking classes of Ranger students got fucked because one battalion commander said, you got to give more goes to Ranger. Our percentage needs to be at X level. And he's like, fuck this. Cause he knew he was going back behind the wall and he could give a shit what that guy had to feel about it. I mean, but it was so funny because at the end of every class, they would come to him and tell him the same thing. You can't do that. You can't give everybody no-goes. And he was like, watch me. What the fuck are you going to do?
What are you going to do?
Because at any time, when he thought he was well enough, he was going back behind the wall and doing what he did before. But it was just hilarious watching the Delta guys or special ops guys when they were Ranger instructors, because, they did a great job until you told them that they couldn't do something.
Yeah.
And then they're like, I can do whatever the fuck I want to do. And then they do it. And then you're like, well, fuck, what are you going to do?
Right.
Because you can't pull rank on them, because all they do is they get on the phone, call Bob, and they're back across the wall, and you look like a total dick.
Yeah.
But I remember that. It always stuck with me that that he did that, because I was like, I felt really sorry for the Ranger students.
For the students, yeah.
Oh, yeah, because there was probably somebody in there that did a really great job. But it's like with EIB, Ranger School, or any school you go to, if you look hard enough, you can find a reason to fail somebody. Yeah. If that's your goal, is to fail people, you can find a reason.
Yeah.
But I was always about the whole leader thing. Was he a good leader? When I went to Ranger School, you were an automatic no-go if you were in a patrol base and one of your soldiers fell asleep and popped off a round. You're a no-go, because that's a violation of noise and light discipline.
Okay.
And that's one of the things you had to get a go.
Well, I don't think anybody should be firing off their weapon when they're asleep.
Oh, that's exactly what it is. That they'd be behind their weapon and fall asleep and then wake up. Fuck me. I saw Ranger students fell asleep, and whoever the RI was walking with them would fill out a major minus spot report and put it right behind their front sight of their weapon and just walk away. And when they woke up, they'd see it and be like, fuck, just sign it and take it to the sergeant, because they knew they were wrong. But what do you do?
So I was a terrible infantryman in the fact that I avoided Ranger School. Every time that I got pressured into Ranger School, I had for some miracle reason, I had another school pop up, and I avoided it.
The reason?
I don't know why.
The reason I actually went to Ranger School?
Why is that?
Because I was in Hawaii, and there was a corporal that was in our platoon. And I was tactically sound. I knew all my shit. I was a squad leader. And I was a staff sergeant when I went to Ranger School. And my platoon leader would never listen to me because I didn't have a Ranger tab. But he would listen to this corporal we had. So I was like, okay, I'll go to Ranger School to verify that I already know what I already know.
Right.
And when I graduated Ranger School, lo and behold, he thought I was smart at that point in time. Right. And I told him one time, I said, do you really think I learned that much in Ranger School that my IQ went up, that now I'm worth listening to? Ranger School was great for its purpose before we were in combat for 20 years. Mm-hmm. I don't think being Ranger qualified should be a major qualification for promotion within the infantry, because I can look back at you and see what you did for the last 12 years of combat and see whether you know what you do. Ranger School was supposed to be as close to combat as could possibly be. Put the most stress on you.
It is a leadership school, right?
Yes, it's supposed to be.
Right. Yeah.
They do send people through there that they don't care if they become leaders. They just care how they look on. I'm not going to get into females.
So we had so what really turned me off with Ranger School is we had a guy in our company that went through Ranger School. And before he went, I knew he was the dumbest son of a bitch. I knew he was retarded. But this guy was a PT stud.
You see,
PT stud.
Some of those guys can just float through.
And he came back from Ranger School with his Ranger tab.
And then he thought he was smart, which is even worse than somebody else.
It was. And he was an untouchable retard.
I'm not saying anything bad about that corporal I had. He was a really good leader. He really was. But the fact that that one tab was better than at that time my 6.5 years of military experience.
Yeah.
That ate me up, especially because that was the geology lieutenant. Remember we were talking about geology?
Yeah.
That was him. And he didn't know shit anyway, but that always bothered me that you became smart after you graduated Ranger School, when we all know when you come back from Ranger School, you don't give shit about anything but food and trying to lose that weight you gained while you were there. I mean, or in between the time you went to Ranger School and when you get back to unit. But no, it's supposed to be a leadership school, but most of the people right now that are in senior leadership positions in the military all have been to combat. All have been
actually
leaders in combat.
We're past that now. None of them have been to combat.
I didn't even think of that.
We're past that. I went to Battle Force, their dining in a couple of years ago, and it was cool because they invited all the veterans of Battle Force that went there. It was a 132 Cav one, but no, it was a brigade, or it might have been a brigade ball.
It was a regiment ball, probably.
Could be, yeah.
327 regiment ball.
And but it was cool, like seeing all the, because you lose faith in the younger generation.
Oh yeah,
right. But then you see all these infantry guys, and like, oh, they're still there.
Yeah, they're still as fucked up as we were.
Yeah, that's all right. Nobody had a CIB,
Yeah.
But it was like, okay, yeah, they're still the same dumb fuckers as we were, and motivated, and it was kind of cool. So.
But that's the big thing is learning, being willing to learn. I went to 1st to 21st in Hawaii. We had a battalion dining in, and we invited Colonel Millette to come speak to us, who was a Medal of Honor winner from, I think, the Wolfhounds. I'm not going to base all my money on that, but I'm pretty sure it was the Wolfhounds. He led one of the last bayonet charges.
Oh my goodness.
And he talked to us, and that was probably one of the greatest guys I ever listened to, because he made you happy, made you laugh, made you think deeply, all of that in his little speech. And there's a field at Ranger School that's named after him, but it's also named after his son, who was a staff sergeant that died in a training accident. So Millette Field's named after him and his son. But yeah, he got up there and he talked, and he starts off talking and everybody's, kind of not listening. And after he's talked for about 3 or 4 minutes, it's dead quiet.
Yeah.
Because you hear you're not just listening to him because he's a Medal of Honor winner. You're listening to him because he's part of your history.
Right.
He's going to tell you stuff that if you're smart and you try to uphold that standard that he set, then no matter whether you fail or succeed, you're gonna be a success.
Right.
Because there's certain missions I give you that you're going to fail no matter what you do. Some schools set up missions like that where you're going to fail no matter what you do.
Yeah.
But I learned so much from being willing to just listen to what he had to say. And then when it was all said and done, going back and reading what he said to go read,
right,
looking at the things that he said, you should look at. You learn a lot, but let's be fair. Most of the time when you go to a dining in, your goal is to see how drunk you can get.
Yeah, sometimes.
And how quick you can get.
Right.
But yeah, I always loved those, because all it is infantry soldiers sitting around, all getting drunk to each other, talking shit about each other. And it reminds you of of how much family there is in an infantry community.
Right.
And that it doesn't matter if a guy served in 1940 or he served in 2020.
Yeah.
We're all from that same torn cloth right there. And we learn by the mistakes they made, and the people that are in now learn from the mistakes we made.
Yeah. And you hope that's the hope.
Oh yeah.
Is that you learn from the mistakes, right? And as a modern leader, you need to look back at the mistakes and you need to learn from them.
Yeah.
Don't repeat them.
And that's the problem. A lot of people just,
it's
like a cycle, just the same mistake. It's like what is that gopher game where you try to hit the little gophers. They're one of those gophers.
Right.
They get hit, but they just pop right back up, make the same mistakes, up and down, up and down. They don't ever move forward.
Yeah.
And if you're not willing, I mean, over the time I was in the Army, I had to change my view on a lot of different things.
Yeah.
Because when I joined the Army, I'll tell the truth. When I was when I first came in, I had platoon sergeants that separated by race into squads. And that's why, as a first sergeant, for me, it was very important to tell my soldiers, I don't care if you're black, white, yellow, blue, or green, we all bleed the same color.
Well, I want to tell you a story about that. Like we deployed, and we had two very different people in our platoon. One was a very southern white guy.
I probably know who you're talking about.
Yep. And then we had a black guy, and in garrison, they did not like each other. Like they were.
Well, I know exactly who you're talking about. Both of them.
They were both raised to not like each other.
Yeah.
When we left Iraq, they were the best of friends, and they would have fought to the death for each other. And it was like
it's the trust.
It's the trust, but not only that, it's just you get out of how you were raised, and you actually interact with these other people, and you're like, okay, we're so different, but yet it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
It's like my dad. If I used the language that my dad used, I mean, they would have kicked me out of the Army 100 years ago.
Right.
But part of it is the way he was raised. He's never been exposed full hand to the things that we have. We've worked with every race, every color, every creed. Doesn't matter what. We don't give a shit what your religion is. We don't give a shit who you're married to, what color your wife is, what color you are, what kind of car you drive. Well, we might fuck with you about your car.
Yeah.
But we honestly don't care. All we care is that you're proficient in your job and that I can trust you to watch my back, because I'm going to watch yours.
Yeah.
And that's what you care about. And that's the problem in the civilian world.
Yeah.
They never gain that trust because remember, we're talking about people who protect promotions.
Right.
You see that a lot more as a civilian than you see it in the military, because people will talk so much shit about you to other people, and just because they don't want you to move forward because they know that you could have their job in X amount of time. Those are the guys that won't send people to a promotion board in the military. But overall, the military is, I think, the best microcosm of society, because it's everybody put together and they have learned to get along.
Yes.
And
it's the most not racist environment.
Oh yeah.
The recreational racism.
Oh yeah.
Because you can be recreationally racist
to the guy that you're in a foxhole with, or your roommate, or whoever.
And it's out of love, humor, and and it's the most non-racist that somebody can be.
You don't have, even if you want to be a racist, and you can't stay in the Army and be that way.
You can't,
because you'll end up isolated, because everybody else is going to look at you and say, well, fuck that.
Yeah.
I'm not going to jump over and help Joe Schmuck over there who doesn't like my buddy over here just because my buddies grew up in Detroit or grew up wherever.
Yeah.
And you learn that over time being in the military. That's one of the things I think made me stay in the Army instead of get out, because I was going to get out after my first enlistment. Only thing that kept me in was that my last year was at Fort Campbell.
Yeah.
The year I was in I was in 4-year enlistment. My first 3 years were pretty fucked up. But when I got to Fort Campbell, I saw good leadership. I saw people that no matter what color they were, they bonded together, for a common objective. And I think that's the best thing I ever did was stay in the military. A lot of times I look back on it and wonder if I've made a difference, because I can't see how people have grown since I've talked to them.
Yeah.
I mean, I can come see you. I can talk to you. I can talk to a few guys here and there, but there's so many that I wonder about. I wonder what they did, whether they stayed in, whether they were successful. Do they have a family now? Because you talk to them and you ask them, what do you want to achieve? And then you always wonder if they had the balls to go try to achieve that. And
well, I think the military, it's good at giving individuals balls to try to do shit. So, I don't regret anything. I don't regret anything.
I tell people I enjoyed 90% of my time in the Army, and the rest of it I was getting shot at or hollered at. So no, I didn't enjoy that part.
I kind of enjoyed the getting shot part.
Well, only when the bullets miss is the getting shot at part.
Well, yeah.
It's so fun. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. When my pants were down around my ankles, I was panicked like a motherfucker. I was scared.
Well,
but I can look back on it now and say, God, that was funny. If any of my soldiers had got a picture, I would have loved to have had that picture.
Oh, yeah.
Because I would literally put it on my wall. Because, I survived, I moved on and did what I did. And I'm always happy when I can meet anybody that I worked with, whether they were above me or below me, that tells me, hey, you did this for me.
Right.
And you helped me with this. And I saw you do this. And that outlook made me have a positive outlook about this.
Yeah.
Except for the 2 soldiers that I visited in jail, I haven't had too many that have told me that I was a negative influence on them. But it's hard to see. It's like the soldiers you had that worked underneath you.
Right.
They've done a lot since you were their boss.
Yeah.
But you don't know everything they've done. And sometimes you probably have that little thing. Did I teach them everything that they needed to know to be successful, not only in the Army, but in life?
Well, and I don't know if that was necessarily mine or your responsibility to teach that.
But we have to remember.
But if you had that influence on somebody, that's a positive thing. But it wasn't your responsibility to teach somebody how to be successful in life.
Oh, I know. But
and even when we've tried to help people be successful in life and they won't take that help.
That you can't do anything about. I kind of know who you're talking about when you say that.
Yeah.
People you've helped and they just continue to do the wrong thing, and you've.
But if you know who I'm talking about, I look now and what I do see is I feel like there was a positive influence there.
Yeah.
And I think they're doing better now.
You did everything you could and you tried over, and there came a point that you had to cut the cord and let them make what mistakes they were going to make.
Yeah.
And they finally came out of it, which is a good thing. But not everybody that you have any effect on turns positive. Their outcomes are negative, and those are the ones that probably bother me the most.
Yeah.
The positive outcomes, I'm always happy.
I don't know that you can put it directly responsible on you to what the negative outcomes of their life may have been because of the environment we were in.
But see, that's my job as first sergeant.
Yeah.
My job as a first sergeant is health, welfare, training,
but that was
all that stuff of you. And that's why I talk to soldiers separate from what their job was, because I'd never had but one first sergeant that ever talked to me like that.
Yeah.
That asked me my opinion.
And I think if anybody's listening that's in that position now as an E7 and E8,
retire now.
Retire. but have a personal level conversation, not necessarily as you're somebody's first sergeant, but just have a conversation with that individual that you can, as a father figure, as as somebody that can, make that positive influence. I think that's the difference between, a leader and a boss, right?
Yeah.
Like in the civilian world, leaders are far and few between.
Oh, I know that for a fact.
But bosses are fucking everywhere, and most of them can go fuck themselves. So,
I honestly think that that's probably the biggest strength of the Army, is that they do build leaders.
Yeah.
And the leaders that come out of the Army and that go into the civilian world, and most of them become successful because they know how to treat the people underneath them. Like we were talking about, if you are more worried about the people up here and not the people that are below you, even though you may become more successful, you may move up the ladder, the organization that you're in is not going to be more successful.
No. Yeah.
Organizations are built from the ground up, not from the top down. No matter what organization you talk about.
And like Warfighter, we're we provide a product, and I feel like the people below me isn't necessarily my employees, but it's my customers, right? You got to take care of your customer. You got to take care of, that's the most important thing.
Then how come you never answered that complaint I sent in?
I must not have seen it. I'm going to blame an employee.
It's John's fault. We'll just blame. He's not here. He's out scuba Steven somewhere, so we don't know.
Anyway, we should probably wrap this up. We've been going forever, and I appreciate it.
I
awesome.
Had a blast. I'd love to come see you.
Justin, do you have any questions?
Not off the top of my head. I just been listening, man. It's cool. It's cool seeing like the second point of view from all the stories that I've heard about from you and John. And
so
everything.
What you're saying is you thought your boss was a liar.
I didn't say that. You said
I think that's exactly I guess what he said. Your pay raise is just freaking out the window.
I thought it was more cool when it was stolen valor, Scott. So
I love what you all have done, developed your own business, but I've listened to your podcast a lot, and there's a lot of stuff that if you're ex-military, this is the podcast to listen to, because you're not afraid to jump on all the topics that soldiers that are having problems really need to hear about.
Yeah, and and sometimes it's that tough love, right? Like as a veteran, sometimes you just need to get your fucking, like it's your fault.
Oh yeah.
You can't blame everybody all the time. You have to take responsibility for your own actions sometimes. And that's like, I'm sorry, but like not all veterans are fucking awesome.
No.
Some veterans suck.
Not all are successful either, but sometimes if you're a dirtbag when you go in and you don't learn nothing, I'll tell you just a little thing. I used to tell people my view of the Army, that 5% of the Army is studs. 5% of the Army is duds.
Yeah.
90% of the Army are regular soldiers.
Average people.
No matter what you do as a leader, you will never be able to get that lower 5% to perform.
That's true.
Doesn't matter how, but you'll spend the majority of your time trying to get that 5% to. On the other end, no matter how fucked up a leader you are, you will never be able to disrail this 5% of the Army because they're self-starters and they'll always do it. Your job as a first sergeant or leader in between is to make sure that this 90% follows this 5% and not this 5%.
Right.
And that's the job you do, the balancing job. That's what you have to do.
Yeah.
And that's probably pretty much any company that you work at is you have to know who the bad eggs are and figure out, how to throw them at the battalion commander.
Yeah. Yeah.
If I can do some quick housekeeping. When this comes out, our Labor Day sale should be hot. So go jump on that. 15% off all week. So just want to put that out there. Other than that, that's it for me.
Awesome.
I appreciate you having me. I really.
No, this has been great. When's the last time we've sat down and talked? You got out and
since we actually sat down and talked would have to be before we ever went to Iraq.
Probably. Because in Iraq, we didn't have time to fucking talk.
No. We were jumping through hoops.
We may have had some words.
Oh, God. Yeah.
Obviously, we shared some stories. You were there for the 203 thing, so I'm sure we talked there a little bit there.
Oh, we probably talked, and I probably said, God damn it, and turned around and walked away.
Right. Yeah.
Which
that's probably fair. So that was in 2003. So it's 22 years later.
22 years later.
But I feel like we
I think we pretty much
picked up right where we left off.
I enjoyed it. I really did.
This has been fun.
Some of the shit I found out, I was like, what? I sucked as a first sergeant. I didn't know that shit.
Oh, I can tell you a lot more you didn't know.
Yeah.
But
we'll do that off the air because statute of limitations is not up.
Yeah. Then I don't want to throw John under the bus and when he's not here to defend himself. So, but thank you for coming. This has been awesome.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it. I hope at some time we can do this again. Not necessarily on the air, but get together and talk.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
All right. So for the listeners, thank you. I hope you guys enjoyed this. This was a treat for me. I hope you guys enjoyed. You heard a reunion live, so there's that. But thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time.